just after the break turned the tide against Croatia.
I think we just overpowered Croatia, with Perisic and Modric. They've got players in their 30s, so they just couldn't live with us physically. And I think this is going to be a feature of Tuchel's game plan moving forward.
Tuchel's team talk transformed England after a nervy first half, and that 4-2 win has fans in Dallas starting to believe.
We look so dangerous going forward. The players play with free spirit.
It will take some performances like this to get through, but I believe that we can do it. I'll tell you what, we look better than Brazil, we look better than Spain, we look better than France. I mean, that's a great start.
Meanwhile, former England striker Darren Bent wants Mark Gay to start the next game. Here's why.
John Stones, he naturally plays on the right-hand side, right? And it's Maguire that usually plays on the left when it was those two. When you move John Stones out to the left, naturally he doesn't go that way to Nico O'Reilly, which is why he barely touched the ball. He couldn't go that way.
England versus Ghana is live on talkSPORT on Tuesday night. Meanwhile, Cristiano Ronaldo was called a passenger in Portugal's draw with DR Congo, but Portuguese football lecturer Pedro Sepulveda says the 41-year-old must start because of his effect on opposition defenders.
When they know that they will play against a player like this, I'm not saying that they are worried, but the behavior of them, it's completely different than if they are playing against, for example, Gonçalo Ramos.
And away from the World Cup, Liverpool are set to hijack Newcastle's move for highly rated young Spain winger Victor Munoz. More at talksport.com.
talkSPORT News.
Oil prices should continue to drop now the US and Iran have signed a deal to end their conflict. And another heatwave is on the way. Sinead has more at past.
talkSPORT weather with QuickFit. With over 600 centres across the UK, most of which open 7 days a week, we're always there when you need us. QuickFit. Drive away happy every time.
In the northwest, rain easing, drizzle across the west and southwest, turning brighter and warmer elsewhere, humid later in the southeast.
Good morning, and there were times in the first half last night when we did wonder whether it was going to be a good morning, but it is a good morning. This is Paul Hawksbee and Andy Jacobs with you through until 1 o'clock here on talkSPORT. So please tell us, Andy, we're all relieved. What's coming up?
Coming up over the next 3 hours, Steve Bruce and former England coach Chris Powell give us their take on England's win. We'll look at what we learnt from the first round of matches, and radio legend Virgin's Chris Evans pops into the studio.
Yes, we'll also welcome your thoughts on that performance in Dallas last night, plus TV formats for Portugal's Charlie Pickle. And our creature of the night is assigned the coveted 3 a.m. fixture between Colombia and Uzbekistan.
That is salute. There's all this, plus away from the football, we'll look ahead to day 3 of Royal Ascot. We'll keep you in touch for the second test of the US Open, and TV's Scarlett Moffat tells us why the World Cup is upsetting your boss.
Indeed. It is 4 minutes past 1. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Andy.
Good morning, Paul. And I don't want to go too previously, but I bought you a present.
Oh, OK. Well, thank you very much.
We celebrate. It's a World Cup beer glass.
Oh, look at that. OK.
It's worth 15 quid of anybody's money.
It's plastic, isn't it? Oh, no, it is glass. Okay. That was a touch dangerous.
It's rather nice, though, isn't it?
It is. Where did you get this? How many tokens at the garage? How many gallons of petrol did you have to buy for that?
Popped up on my Instagram, I think.
Oh, OK. Well, look, so is this your way of saying it's coming home?
Well, possibly.
OK. Well, let's not get too carried away, because there certainly were times in the first half when we did wonder whether we were coming home after the first round.
We're going to speak to Steve Bruce about this, but Anthony Barry's half-time interview was really sensational. We were saying earlier, this wasn't the norm for that type of thing. The most half-time interviews are sort of platitudes. Yeah, well, we've 45 minutes to go. We've done well, blah, blah, blah. But there you could tell he was really angry.
Yeah, I think he'd just come out that dressing room and they're taking the paint off the walls, haven't they? And I suppose if you give players that opportunity, if you kind of say to players, look, what's the worst that can happen? We can lose. That is quite a bold thing to say.
Yeah, no, but it was the right. We all want to see England playing like that. It was glorious. The first 15 minutes of the second half, you just thought, wow, what a team this could be. You know, it was very exciting. And we both said, you know, there was when they didn't get that fourth goal, there was that sort of feeling that Croatia could get back into it. But it
was that classic thing, wasn't it, of having about 5 or 6 chances and the keeper having a worldie, and you thinking
it was
could
terrific.
Come back to bite us on the bum. But thankfully it didn't. And you always felt, not just because it came very late, but you always felt as soon as England got a fourth, that was it. Because you felt Croatia could maybe nick one back, but you never fancied them getting two.
That block for Kane at the end, though, was brilliant.
Yeah.
I did think that, you know, talking of Kane, when he stood in front of the first penalty, I was thinking, I hope he hasn't been watching Dear England. Because honestly, the moments in Dear England on the TV version when he has to take a penalty are really quite, you know, realise the pressure. Then I thought after he missed
it, I had to take it twice.
Yeah, after he missed it, I thought, blimey, he has been watching it. But the second one was fine.
The thing is, I mean, I've seen a lot of Harry Kane penalties over the years.
He loves that one.
And the one that you cannot save, and it doesn't matter even if you go the right way, the ones that go in the side netting on the inside, they're always low to the keeper's right. They're drilled really low in that tiny gap between the post and where it hits. And it doesn't hit the back of the net. They hit the side of the net. And I don't know why. I mean, look, I'm sure keepers look at... there was a piece in the Times today, and he's been changing his penalties. He's got 2 penalty techniques. One where he waits for the keeper to commit, and he does that stuttery run, and one where he doesn't, where he just picks his spot. And like we saw with the first one, he decided it wasn't a great pen. It was at a very good height for the keeper to save.
That keeper's got a good record of saving
penalties. He has,
and that's play gets into the forward's head when you know you're up against a good keeper.
But the nerves in the first, I mean, you can't account for that. There's a lot of pressure on some of these big countries to perform, and you know we've laid it on the pressure. Everybody in this country wants the team to do well. We got great players, and you could sense that nervousness and that fear.
France were the same. Yeah,
they were.
Teams, you know, Portugal started well, but by the end, you thought, well, they're not going to win it either. But I don't know. I don't get why are they playing the darts music after we score. I expected Luke Littler to come on and start joining in the celebration.
I don't know. They've obviously taken advice from all the nations. They've contacted every nation and said, what should be your goal music? Yeah. And I don't know if they've caught the FA after they've just come back from the night of the Premier League darts. And they said, yeah, go with it. Well, it gets everywhere. I mean, it could sweep really Caroline. It could now, I guess. I mean, what would be the options? But anyway, we're weighing in very... I mean, drink had been taken, I think it's fair to say. Yes. 1 or 2 of the callers. Not by Jason and Jamie, but by a great many of the callers. But you've probably worked through the hangover now, and in the cold light of day, you can give us your take on it, because... the second half, the way we attacked the second half was fantastic.
Very, very encouraging. We need to see what will happen in the heat. It's fine if you put in a 15 minutes like that, if you score.
Yeah.
If you don't, the effect in the heat of doing that will be.
But the thing is, that's why you have squads, and that's why. And I think all the boys.
But they know that the preparation looks like it's been really spot on.
Yeah, so. All the boys who came on did very well. Be interesting to see if Saka feels fit enough to start the second game, because he does feel the better option there. He gives you kind of so much more.
He did matter. It sort of suits Madueke. I had this theory about him when he was at Chelsea that he only played well for about like 60 minutes.
Yeah.
He never had a whole 90 in him. So that kind of suits him, I think. Yeah. And I did notice, did you see at one point when the ball, I think Gordon tried to keep the ball in, and Sam said, they've got 3D mapping to tell whether the ball's gone out of play all over the pitch. I thought, blimey, Roger Hunt could have done with that.
Yeah, I'm glad we didn't have 3D mapping in 66 or goal line tech. But I felt for Anthony Gordon last night, because I saw him on social media getting a bit of clog, saying, when's he coming on? I thought he was trying so hard to get into the game.
He didn't touch the ball for 16 minutes.
No. He was trying very hard. At one point, he sort of started playing in midfield in desperation, and a ball went out to the left and he wasn't there. You don't want to force it. And, of course, Rashford scoring the way he did, and the way he played generally.
That's the idea, you know. But then if Rashford starts, then he has the opportunity to come on when the
he said that to Faye afterwards. He said, look, you know, we all realise this is a team game. We're all supporting each other. He was the first one to go to Rashford after he scored as well. So well done to the team. They're brilliant work by our team out in Dallas last night. So let us know what you made of it all. 03717 223344. That's 03717 223344. Very happy to have a chat with you over the next 2 and a bit hours. Get your take on what you saw. How optimistic are you based on what you saw? Any any sort of red flags from your point of view? Any concerns? Because, I mean, look, we could...
Pickford's kit. That's a big concern to me.
Oh. He does. I mean, he still makes you nervous, doesn't he? He does. There is something about when he's on the ball sometimes. There is that kind of...
I like him, though. I mean, I think he's really coming to his sort of peak now. Yeah, he does have that tendency. Yeah. And it did show a little bit towards the end of the Premier League season.
It was a deliberate ploy last night was to draw them onto the ball so we could play through their press, wasn't it? It was pretty clear what he was trying to do. A couple of times he was even kind of bringing the ball back further into his goal mouth to draw them on.
Tuchel talking about playing forward rather than playing back. I mean, that's so important in modern football. If you just keep playing backwards, you're never going to get anywhere.
Well, most of England's shortcomings over the years has been a fear factor, hasn't it? It's been that fear to get on the ball and take chances.
Especially going 1-0 up.
Yeah. So, 03717 223344 talksport.com/H&J. You can text to 81089. You can tweet to TSH&J. And you can give us your take on last night's game and indeed whatever else you saw over the last 24 hours at the World Cup. A little bit of breaking news. Ibrahima Konate will join Real Madrid at the end of June.
They're really loading up, aren't they?
Yeah, they certainly are. Jose's getting the players in he wants after a pretty difficult season at Liverpool. That's an interesting move for him. I mean, look, let's be honest. Rudiger came in. It was a kind of difficult season at Chelsea, although he got back into the team, hadn't he, under Lampard. But, there's definitely a player there. I think there might be a few Liverpool fans raising an eyebrow at that, thinking, is he Real Madrid?
They've got that young centre-half, though, that they bought from France, very highly rated, injured. So he'll come back.
So a 4-year deal for him. So we'll keep an eye on all the other transfer news.
It's hard to evaluate transfers this time of the year because if you look at Spurs, they bought 2 centre-halves, very good centre-halves, but that wasn't the problem in the team. Yeah. They already had. But of course, what they're going to do is sell some and then they're going to use that money to bring in midfield. So it's hard to evaluate what deals
Very interesting that Simon shared with Ben Foster on talkSPORT yesterday afternoon a message from Daniel Levy.
I saw that.
Suggesting that Spurs had their pants pulled down.
Who cares? They got the player they want. I didn't agree with that at all.
Well, it's not just that. It's just, honestly, talk about a bit rich. A man who wasted incredible amounts of money on duff youngsters in the hope that they might train on
and never had
huge money for players.
As far as I know, never had 2 deals done before the end of June.
No, exactly. So the managers never got the players in they wanted. We lost our best manager, hopefully until the point that we've brought De Zerbi in Maurizio Pochettino because of the sheer frustration of having to operate. I've spoken to Tottenham managers who talked about how difficult it was to get players in and out of the club simply because of unrealistic valuations and time scales and the frustrations of not getting players in before the window closed. And you know what would have happened with Van Necker? It would have gone on and on and on. We would have been offering 10 million, 12 million, 15 million. And it might have come off.
And somebody else would have nicked him.
Yeah, okay, if somebody else would have nicked him, or we might have saved, who knows, we might have saved 5 million on transfer deadline day. But that's another 2 or 3 weeks or 4 or 5 weeks a manager hasn't got to work with a player. So calling that a bit rich is something else. So I think that was the general consensus among Tottenham fans. I don't think I saw anybody agree with him. Anyway.
No.
So we kick off with Steve Bruce, former Manchester United defender. We'll talk about the defence. Also, as a seasoned manager, as Steve was, what happens when the players go out there and don't do what you told them to do, or what you discussed, or play the way that they did in training, which was the clear message from Tuchel last night. So Steve's going to join us. Just a reminder, 03717 223344, talksport.com, text 81089, tweet to TSH&J. Peter, the Liverpool fan in Belfast, said, at last, at England game, I managed to stay awake throughout. Somebody managed to stay awake for Uzbekistan versus Colombia, and that was our creature of the night. We'll be hearing from them a little bit later on, part of our nocturnal army watching those overnight games, so you don't have to. We'll be chatting to a former England coach in Chris Powell a little bit later on as well, getting his take on Anthony Barry's comments. Scarlett Moffat joins us.
Why not?
I think she's been enjoying the World Cup, but she's going to tell us why your boss probably isn't a big fan of the World Cup. We'll round up some stories with Max Scott. We've got the SPL fixtures coming out a little bit later on. We'll keep you in touch with the cricket and the golf and lots more besides. Chris Evans popping in to see us as well on his way home after his shift with Virgin to give us his take on the tournament so far. So another busy 3 hours. Just a reminder, 03717 223344, talksport.com/H&J. You can text to 81089. You can tweet to TSH&J. We'll kick off with Steve Bruce in a few moments' time. We're here with Selco Builders Warehouse. It's where the trade go.
Neil, yesterday we had another French legend in the studio in Emmanuel Petit, and I asked him, no, in fact, I didn't even ask him, he just offered it to us. He said that he thinks Mbappe is more important than Henry was to France. Who do you put above the other on that list? Who's a better player? Who's more important?
I think Mbappe is the main man. He's the guy for France, and actually he's had some tough time at Madrid this season, but with France, he's always there and he's always playing well. And I think when you look at the stats he scored, I think he's got already like 14 World Cup goals, yes. 58 goals for France. So he's the top scorer of all time. I've backed him from the start, and I believe he's got a big desire to prove like all the people wrong after his tough season, I'd say, at Madrid.
I remember as a kid growing up watching France, you had the great Michel Platini playing, who I think is possibly the best French player of all time. Is that how you guys see it over in France? Who is number one on your list?
It's hard to say, because I feel like most of the time great players are being recognized more when they retire. And I think that's kind of what happened with Mbappe when, you know, he was playing for Paris. Like he was criticized a lot, but then we left him, and you know that the League One in France is not the same with or without Mbappe, and I think that will happen to him. And I believe we've never had a player coming from very young age, like doing the things that he's done already. He's one of the World Cup. He's called.
A nation hopes that this time is our time. Decision, retake.
Who are we to argue with the officials?
At the second time of asking. Slightly longer run up this time. Little stutter once more. The same way. England lead by a goal to nil. Number 80 for Captain Kane. To the right, about to take this corner. It's an away swinger. Left arm above his head. And a bullet header.
How valuable is he going to be to England?
Headed down by Perisic. Musa, 2-2. Got it right on the stroke of half-time.
You're not going to win a World Cup conceding goals like those two.
So there's more to come. We have to improve.
Oh, what a start of the second half. Jude Bellingham.
Bellingham's dictating the pace of what we're doing at the moment.
In he comes for Rashford, keeping his feet and winning the game for England.
Yeah, after a slightly shonky first half, but we're not alone in that, really, in this World Cup with some of the big nations. We certainly turned up in the second half after a pretty meaningful team talk by all accounts, and the players stepped up and showed what they were all about. Let's get the thoughts now of a seasoned football manager and former Manchester United defender, Steve Bruce. Hi, Steve.
Good morning, lads. How are you?
Good, yeah. We all got a bit of a spring in our step. The sun's shining out there behind you in Portugal, which is lovely to see. We're going to come on to Portugal. I don't know if you've been down to get your paper and a loaf of bread today and see. We'll come back to Portugal. Let's start with England.
Yeah.
And I mean, first, your overall thoughts on what you witnessed last night.
Well, it's a bit like you've just summed it up in one there. The first half, in particular, we were a bit pedestrian, and certainly in our defensive work needed to improve, and we've conceded 2 goals. However, the manager's obviously had a word with 1 or 2, or whatever he said, or whatever he's done. But all of a sudden, in the second half, it's a different team. And for those who started doubting Bellingham a little bit, then all eating humble pie a little bit, because I have to say, yesterday, for 20-minute spell in the second half, he was unplayable. And how good was Harry Kane? Again, we've said all along, how good is he and how valuable he is. He was just absolutely fantastic in his defensive work as well. The block he got you'd have been proud of if you were a centre back. Absolutely, it was a wonderful start, and but I think the beauty of England is the substitutions when the lads came on with fresh legs in wide areas. Rashford, and I mean, what a 3-4 players they've been able to bring on, which makes a difference when obviously when people are tired.
Would you say England and France have been the best teams so far? Maybe Argentina? Who have you really enjoyed?
Yeah, I think we've always got to be wary. The French in the top end of the pitch, like we spoke about a week ago, a bit like England, isn't it? The French have got some fantastic footballers at the top end of the pitch. Where it all matters for me, I know, yes, we can be better defensively, but we are a threat. Certainly we're a threat, and that goes for the French team too.
We could sense the frustration from Thomas Tuchel and the coaches, from Anthony Barry's chat with Gabriel Clark at half-time. As a manager, Steve, you do all the work, you do all the prep, and you think they've trained really well all week, they're on it, they know what I want them to do, and they go out and they don't do it. I mean, it must be very frustrating.
Yeah, it is. And by the way, even these lads are seasoned professionals, and, it's a World Cup. They come round every 4 years. It's the pinnacle of your career, playing in a World Cup. And all of a sudden, they looked a bit nervous and a little bit edgy, if the truth be known. And, they're well-established players who play in front of 70 and 80,000 every week. It's the World Cup, the build-up to it. I mean, England have had to wait for a long time, it seems, hasn't it? The competition has been going a week. But I have to say, yeah, they were a bit nervous and a bit edgy. And I would love to have been a fly on the wall to let Tuchel let rip, I would believe, because when you listen to Anthony Barry for a start, you could feel the frustration in him straight away, that we hadn't really performed to the level which we know we're capable of.
Is that a bold thing to say to players? I mean, effectively, Tuchel, as Anthony Gordon told Faye Carruthers last night, said to us at half-time, just go out and play your game, be yourselves. What's the worst that can happen? We could lose, but I'd rather lose playing out.
That's a key thing, like that.
Yeah, I mean,
that takes out the fear.
Yeah, take away the fear. That's exactly right. The nerves, the tension, whatever you want to call it. Look, I remember the big game that when I look back at my career, one of the big highlights was playing the mighty Barcelona in the Nou Camp in front of 120,000 or whatever it was. We got beat 4-0. I was flaming hopeless. Romario and Stoichkov led me a merry dance. And I have to say, I was hopeless. And that's one where I think back all my career, I think, wow, I wish I'd have played better in that big game, And I have to say, Gary Pallister alongside me was just as bad as well, by the way. But, so, of course, you want to perform. And I have to say, we seen Bellingham, as I said, for 20 minutes, 30 minutes in the second half until he went off. He was absolutely sensational. I mean, what a player he is for 22-year-old. We forget that, he'd walk into any team. I have to tell you, he was terrific last night.
He was. We spoke to an expert earlier in the year who advises some Premier League clubs on half-time and how much players can take in and this sort of thing. I mean, how easy is it to get a message across to players because they're tired and they're probably a bit nervous and a bit concerned about and they're probably quite angry as well.
How much difference can you make
they're probably angry in themselves to start with, and I only think you can make 1 or 2, maybe 3 points really before you can only make, otherwise they're not going to take it all in. So already they're a bit frazzled and a bit muzzled because they haven't played well. So all they need is a clear instruction. Something like, listen, lads, just take off the shackles and play. What can happen? You're going to get beat. But, and it's the manner of it, of course. So, look, the manager's got a response out of them. And that's why we've hired him. He is a top class manager. He's made big calls. I mean, I don't think many would have picked that team yesterday. But, he's made big calls, made substitutions when they're right. And when he's needed to at half-time, have a word with 1 or 2 to pull the finger out a bit.
Still some concerns. I mean, it wasn't, by the way, Croatia pressed in the way they played. They put us under pressure. They're a very good, experienced side. But do you have concerns defensively, central defensively, from the pair we had last night, Steve?
I honestly believe the two of them are very, very good. Very, very good. And all the defenders, and we've got a world-class goalkeeper as well. He made a good save at the right time yesterday in the second half. They're both wonderful players. I think what they need is we need Declan Rice in particular to have that defensive mode on and defend better as a team. I mean, their second goal, we're all back behind the ball, and our defensive block was low, but we didn't really put any pressure on it. And a straight ball has got through to their centre forward or whoever it was, and he knocked it back. So, as a team, I think we can defend better. It's not just picking on 2 individuals like your centre backs.
Yeah.
They may need a bit of protection, and certainly that's where I think Declan Rice in particular, even though I love to see him marauding forward, has to be on his game throughout the World Cup to give them 2 a bit of protection.
Just before he was subbed, I wrote down, is it me, but does Declan Rice look a bit knackered tonight? He's had a very, very long season.
He went off, he limped off slightly.
So apparently he had a slight knock, but he did give the ball away a couple of times before that happened.
He has played a lot of football, hasn't he? I mean, he played most of that season. He got very, unlike Saka, who had a couple of sort of injury breaks, and a few players that did. I think he played most of the season, didn't he, Declan Rice? So, I mean, he's bound to be a bit leggy, but still an important player. He's
crucial to us, and yes, I think he has had a long season and he's probably played more than anybody in terms of minutes, and played under pressure too. I mean, they've gone on to win the league with the performance he's made. He's going to be crucial to us, and so Elliot Anderson's another one, where he was very, very good in my opinion too, So, but them 2 in particular have to give our defenders a little bit more, if they possibly can, because, as I said, it's unhealthy to just say, the 2 centre-halves aren't good enough. I think they're both outstanding footballers, but we need to defend better as a team than what we did yesterday.
Steve Bruce is with us. We'll keep chatting in a few moments. We will sing a little bit of Portugal about a tough old start. Well done to DR Congo, who got a point off them. In the aftermath of last night's game, I was listening to Adrian and Stuart and Jim and the team. We did a great job last night, but I was listening to their debrief, and you can hear that in the World Cup Daily from Dallas after that win. So Stuart and Jim and Adrian break down Thomas Tuchel's half-time impact, that fantastic second half, any defensive concerns, as we've just been discussing with Steve, and whether this is the blueprint for the rest of the tournament. That's the World Cup Daily, available on all podcast platforms now. More from Steve Bruce in a few moments' time.
Donald Trump has been given licence to join the World Cup winners in their trophy lift, just as he did, as you remember, at the Club World Cup. The US president has already been told by FIFA, we want you, President Trump, to hand over the trophy to the eventual champions. I mean, I wonder, what does that look like as far as you're concerned? Is it right and proper that Trump, of all people, should be right in the middle of it all come the trophy lift?
I think it would be hugely popular if England were to win the trophy, if Trump wrestled the World Cup off Harry Kane and began to do a little conga. I think everyone in Britain would share my view that that would be absolutely magnificent. No, I think it's got the potential to be quite embarrassing, but I think that Trump is quite savvy about the reaction to what happened with the World Club Championship. If he's not, his son Barron is, because his son Barron loves football, loves our football. He's actually an Arsenal fan. And I think he will probably have a quiet word with the old man and say, look, Dad, it should you get the trophy anywhere near you, don't try and grab it.
Well, as you know, Simon, who's right beside me here, always says politicians should stay out of football. So, Simon, why should they make an exception for the president?
Because you have to manage this man. Whether you disagree with his principles or you agree with them, it's kind of irrelevant. In my ideal world, would have politicians nowhere near sports. So when the German politicians yesterday were saying they weren't going to come because they disagree with certain aspects of Trump's outlook, I said, hallelujah, more of that. The situation with Trump has a relatively unique feel about it because Trump is such an omnipotent character that it does add to the argument. But if I had my ideal world, I would be saying Trump nowhere near it. In terms of being on the pitch, dealing with the trophy, that's someone else's responsibility, and it steers into the narrative that I always underpin my arguments with. Keep these politicians away from...
Jude Bellingham says playing with a chip on his shoulder will bring out the best of him at this World Cup. The former England captain Stuart Pearce says England's number 10 made the difference in the win over Croatia.
They look to go forward with energy, with pace, with power, and I've got to say Bellingham led that. He really did in the second half, in my opinion. He got the goal, but he got his towel up and he was roaring the team forward.
After a nervy first half with a score at 2-2, Thomas Tuchel did exactly what the FA brought him in for. His team talk transformed England.
I want him to be brave, courageous, intense and on the front foot and do it together and just go for it.
Kane, Bellingham and Rashford all on the score sheet. Meanwhile, the former England striker Darren Bent wants Mark Gahey to start the next game. Here's why.
John Stones, he naturally plays on the right-hand side, right? And it's Maguire that usually plays on the left when it was those two. When you move John Stones out to the left, naturally he doesn't go that way to Nico O'Reilly, which is why he barely touched the ball.
England v Ghana is live on talkSPORT on Tuesday night. Elsewhere, Ghana nicked a 95th minute winner to beat Panama 1-0. Colombia top Group K, they beat Uzbekistan 3-1. Away from the World Cup, and we're hearing that Liverpool will hijack Newcastle's move to sign young Spanish striker Victor Munoz. And we understand Chelsea are up for selling Enzo Fernandez to Real Madrid. Jose Mourinho has made Enzo his top target. More at talksport.com.
Good morning, it's Paul Hawksbee and Andy Jacobs here on talkSPORT. Chris Evans going to pop in and see us later after his Virgin Radio show and give us his take on the World Cup so far. Chris Powell joining us, but we are with Steve Bruce, currently over in sunny Portugal. Steve, you were defending the centre halves just now. You've had a little bit of stick after the game, and saying maybe they need a bit more protection from the midfield. There will be a few people feeling that maybe Mark Gay deserves a start, maybe he deserved to start last night. I mean, would you be for changing anything, or off the back of a win, would you keep it the same?
I have to say, I think that was, one of the decisions that not many people would have thought he would have done that. The thing about John Stones is obviously he hasn't played a lot this year in terms of minutes, but the one thing about him, he'll be as fresh as a daisy as long as he physically stays well. And we all know that John Stones, an outstanding player, has just unfortunately been struck this year with a load of injuries and hasn't played a lot. So it's a big call. As I said, I think England have just got to defend better as a team. As I said, they're set up yesterday for the second goal. They're all back behind the goal. But arguably wasn't enough pressure on the midfield player to enable them to play that pass. So, I mean, that's where they've got to be better. But certainly, let's not take away from the second half. We've played as well as anybody has in the tournament. And if you're another team looking at us, especially with strength and depth, with the people who are coming on the pitch, it was fabulous to see.
I thought Tuchel did well bringing Gay on just for a taste of the World Cup, getting it out of the way. Are you concerned, Steve, a little bit about that 15-minute burst at the start of the second half was fantastic. It was really, really exciting. But doing that in the heat and not scoring could be quite costly.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to take your chances, of course. And yesterday, there was no excuse, really, because it was under the roof. It was 21 degrees in the stadium. So it's not as if it's 35 degrees and you're playing in blazing sunshine. Then, of course, the game, we all understand then, is going to be obviously slower. So England have got to deal with that next time up, probably. But make no mistake, certainly the way they were in that 20 minutes after half-time, it was as good an England performance as I've seen for a long time, where you're thinking, wow, we could score 2, 3, 4, 5 here, and unfortunately we didn't.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see what happens next, isn't it, and how they respond for the second game against Ghana.
We should have a look at Portugal, because you're out there. For our correspondent.
I've just had a cup of coffee with a mate of mine in a little beach restaurant up on the coast there, and Martinez must go. He can't get the best out of our team. He's got to go now. We've got to follow Tunisia. Miguel, me mate, is a little bit gets a bit emotional with it, I have to say, but he's not happy with the manager at all. But they're a little bit in shock because, on the quiet, Portugal fancy themselves a little bit. They've got some wonderful, wonderful players. And, it just shows you how difficult now football is, that, they come against a very, very decent Congo team who made it really difficult for them. And, they end up getting a draw, which was quite deserved in the finish.
All the focus really on Ronaldo and the fact he really didn't have a good game. I mean, we've seen Argentina kind of play too messy. It didn't really work from Portugal's point of view, trying to do effectively the same thing.
I would say there's a 4-year difference between Ronaldo and Messi, and at the end of your career, 4 years is quite a long time, I think.
Well, huge, and you have to take your hat off to the two of them. I mean, to be playing at the world stage in 5, 6 World Cups, wherever it is, at 37 and 40 or whatever, however old they are, that's quite remarkable. And these two lads have been at the top of the tree now for at least 2 decades. So that's what makes them the great player. They don't want to give up. They still enjoy football. I mean, of course, everybody's going to analyse, Ronaldo didn't do much, this and that and the other, because of the expectation on him. Him and Messi have been the 2 best players in the world by a country mile for a long, long time. And unfortunately, Father Time is catching up with the two of them, but they've still got a bit to offer.
I just want to play you something, Steve. Didier Mann, the former Germany midfielder, has been on RTE after the game. He was talking about Harry Kane and sort of picked up on a point one or two other people have made about Harry Kane. Let's play you this and see what you make of it.
He's a captain and he's there to score goals in the knockout games, and the jury's out, and I can hear what Jay says, I can hear what Kevin says. I want to see him do it in the last 16 against France, in the last 8 against Brazil, and whether he's capable of doing it, we don't know. He hasn't done it so far. Then again, in Munich, every centre forward has scored goals, and it doesn't matter whether he scores 35 or 25. they're going to win the league? I'm not sure. I think there's a few centre forwards in this tournament. I'd probably rather have him a team than him. I'm sitting on the fence for now, but I've got my doubts about him, whether he's the player who's taken England to the World Cup. I think at some stage in a tournament, you need pace, and he simply hasn't got it.
That's Didier Mann over in RTE in Ireland.
You should write to the Daily Star.
It was basically saying he's flat track bully. He's kind of going down the route of.
Did you see he's working for RTE in Dublin? Has he been on the Guinness or something all night or whatever? He must be the first person I've ever heard question Harry Kane.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, listen, everybody's entitled to their opinions, but I don't see that at all. I mean, look. This fella is world class, and you just have to look at his record, whether he's playing in England, whether he's playing for Spurs, whether he's playing for Bayern Munich. The guy is got a little bit of special quality. He's a wonderful, wonderful finisher, and of course he's got a couple of goals yesterday, which nobody was surprised he missed that penalty. The first one, we were a little bit lucky. Something's gone our way, but you have to say, I think Didi. But look. I disagree with him immensely. I mean, Harry Kane for me is world class player.
Yeah, I mean, he scored a lot of goals in the Champions League, but I suppose Didi would say to that, but yeah, did Bayern go on and win it? But yeah, I tend to agree with you, and I'm sure most of the listeners do. But we shall see. Proofs in the pudding, isn't it, Steve? If he goes on and scores goals in the big games, then he puts that to bed. But for now, lovely to talk to you. Enjoy the sunshine today. And
Can I tell you one bit? You know what I was woken up to this morning? Me 5-year-old watching the highlights. Singing "God Save the King." How good was that?
Oh, that's good.
Hey, by the way, he's only 4.
Oh,
unbelievable!
Learned the anthem. That's what he's got the hand on the heart. He's doing the whole bit.
Oh, he's singing the anthem this morning. It was wonderful to listen to. I have to tell you.
Start him young, brilliant. All the best, Steve.
Absolutely.
Have a good day.
All the best. Speak to you, lads.
There we are. There's Steve Bruce there. Our thanks to him. Say Chris Powell joining us for a chat later. A man who's been in an England dressing room as a coach and a player, of course, under Sven. But we're going to have a chat with Chris Evans very shortly. First up, we have one of the talkSPORT listeners getting in touch. Who's joining us? Going to find it. It's Mark, the Preston fan. Hey, Mark.
How you doing? You all right?
Yeah, we're good. So, it's a cold light today. You've been able to sleep on it. How are you feeling this morning about that performance?
I just think it was... I'm 43, and probably the most exciting England game I've seen in 40 years. You know, when you switch on England, you used to think you're going to be bored. But my kids were sat there, they watched the game. It was like... thrilling, do you know what I mean? So I think this new style he's got, it's exciting. Whether we win it or not, it could be any of the top 5 that win it, who's best on the day, but at least we're watching exciting football now.
Mark, how old are you?
That's a good point.
How old are your kids? Because, I mean, we've been beaten down by 60 years of hurt, but kids watching for if that's your first memory of a World Cup game, you're probably thinking, oh, this is good. I can't wait for more of these.
Yeah, but also England in the last few years have been good.
They have been good, yeah.
Yeah, she's a 12-year-old, so she sat and watched it, which is remarkable because she never usually sits. Football's quite boring for a kid to watch, isn't it? Yeah. But it was exciting, and that's what we want. We want a bit of excitement in the England team. We don't want the defensive play it safe. We want a bit of excitement, don't we?
Yeah, absolutely. Good man, Mark. Thank you very much. Well, there we are. Mark sitting there watching it with his daughter. He doesn't normally watch football. And she's in it for the long haul now.
Yeah, that's what the World Cup is all about.
Indeed. Keep your calls coming. 0371 702 3344. talksport.com/8injail. Text at 81089. Chris Evans has finished his show over on Virgin. He's going to pop in and see us, give us his take on the tournament so far and last night's match. That's all coming up very shortly. We're here with our very good friends at Selco Builders Warehouse. Go and check out this month's real deals at selcobw.com.
Iran played out a 2-2 draw with New Zealand, the lowest ranked team in the competition. But that's not the whole story. Post-match, the Iranian manager, Amir Galonoi, claimed that his side were the most oppressed at this World Cup, Simon, and I think he's got a point, revealing they were thrown out of the US immediately after the game. They weren't even able to undertake a recovery session. And they were told, get on your way, and headed back to Tijuana, Mexico, their training base, a day before they had intended to.
Okay.
The manager says afterwards, it seems like others are doing the planning for us. That's a hint at the US here, with decisions made elsewhere. Our team is the most oppressed in this World Cup. The federation is absent here. They don't even have their own federation here.
Yes, listen, it's not ideal. But should that have affected the outcome in this game? I mean, yes, if they're playing a world-beating side or a side that's on an equal par with them, you can say that's a really unfair set of circumstances.
Or Simon, if they're playing anybody.
No, but let's have it right. In their favour is the fact they've got better players. So maybe the odds were slightly evened up a little bit. But as we saw with Troy talking about it yesterday, players staying in a different hotel in a different environment. Yes, the warm-down thing and those sort of things are not ideal. I understand that it's not ideal. But as we discussed yesterday, this is going to be the built-in excuse if they have a bad result.
Oh, come on.
Here they
it's
come.
Not fair, Simon. Never mind not ideal. It's not fair in them.
It's not equitable.
No one else is getting treated like this.
It's not equitable. I hear you, right? And we know the reasons why, and whether we agree with them or not is a different discussion, right? But the bottom line is should they have been able to overcome New Zealand with all of that disadvantage?
But that's not the point.
Well, it is.
It's not equitable. It's not fair on them.
It is. Well, some could say that the...
Some of the crowd are on the pitch. Well, some of the crowd are on the pitch. They think it's all over, but it is now.
I hope our next guest isn't too nervous about being on the radio.
No, that's right. It's Jeff, first-time caller.
Big-time listener,
yeah, big-time listener. Love the show, lads. Chris Evans has joined us.
Yeah, I'm so sorry about this, everyone. Here to give you my take on the World Cup. So
well, no, we're because you love your football and you've been across many tournaments. Funny enough, we were just chatting off air about Terry Venables and Euro 96. You're getting Euro 96 vibes already.
Well, I'm getting England-Holland Euro 96 vibes, 100%, because, I was very fortunate enough to know Terry, as I'm sure you two did. And, I asked him about that game. We used to do a show together on Saturdays on the radio about football. And, he said, I just threw 7 forwards on. Everybody could play in attack. Even the sort of back four, we were very sort of front-footed thinking. And he said, don't worry about how many goals they're going to score. Just score more goals than them. And then you have them on the back foot and they can't get out of their own half anyway. Yeah. And you were there for England-Holland at Wembley Stadium. I was there when the scoreboard said England 4, Holland 0. I mean, they did score a goal, but we did see 4-0 for a while. And last night was very, very reminiscent of that, and they talk about total football. That was as close as we got. And, I'm fascinated by managers and what they say and what makes the difference between an Alex Ferguson and an Arsene Wenger and a Thomas Tuchel compared to the others. Ancelotti, I know you're a big fan of and he's been on the show.
Yeah.
And it's great, isn't it, what Harry... Because Harry... The thing about Tuchel is he's just saying what he thinks, even right before the game. You know, he's saying, well, we're going to do this because they're going to do that. And if they're watching, they know what he's going to do. But he's so organised in a way that's sort of, you know, quite off-putting for the opposition, I would imagine. And then Harry Kane does a Thomas Tuchel after the match because he tells you exactly what Tuchel told them at half time, which was basically, lads, I thought we had a deal here. You're gonna play like you don't care, like you're back in the playground, you know. And in the first half, you didn't do that, boys. You know, we had an agreement. Can we just go out and do that? And they all went, oh yeah, we remember. And they just went out, and it was just a different game. And I was, as you can hear, I was very excited about it. We all were very excited about it. And this morning, there's this whole sense of relief and release, and now we're looking forward to next week and Tuesday, and it's like, you know, it might be coming home.
Well, it might
be if France go home first.
But no, look, even France, not great in their first half.
Absolutely.
We saw their players turn up. What was interesting is that Tuchel, it wasn't tactical things. There were a few tactical tweaks. We saw that. But essentially, it was vibes, wasn't it? It was sound, like you said, Chris, it was sound to the guys, hang on, this is not what we've trained all week for. This is not what I've seen from you guys. Now go out and kind of deliver what
Enjoy yourselves. You know, they say, don't they, in golf, there's 35 rules of golf. So if you get from the RNA to this beautiful little leather book, it's called The Rules of Golf. And then Callaway came out with that great ad campaign about 15, 20 years ago. They invented Rule 36. And it just said on the ad campaign, Rule 36, enjoy the game. And it's the same kind of thing, isn't it? And you were talking about the BBC not being at the World Cup and ITV being at the World Cup. What difference does that make? Well, it makes all the difference because it's about energy, whether it's your show and you're relaxed and you've been working together for ages, even though I know that for you this is early breakfast. Is that right?
Yeah. This is sort of afternoon's shift from your point of view. This is our normal show.
This is the first time you've ever changed your time slot, isn't it?
No, in Russia we did 10.
Russia we did an earlier one because
it was a different
difference.
time
But
difference,
really,
but I suppose
you've been breakfast most of your life.
Oh yeah, this is how it feels. Yeah. Any handy hints?
No.
Can I get you anything?
It's a difficult World Cup but you're getting up to come in to do your Virgin Radio show, and there's still the kind of 3 a.m. games going on.
We had a 5 a.m. the other day, which was still playing as.
It wasn't one you'd particularly be interested in, though.
No, and also they're longer, aren't they? Because the beloved hydration breaks. Which I have surrendered to.
Ah, you're into them now.
Well, I've just surrendered to you because they're a fact.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's a shorter half time and it's a regroup. It's quite NBA-ish. It's like, you know, get the iPads out.
We don't want it in the Prem, though. We don't want to see it over. We don't want hydration. I mean, one of our listeners said
this was good.
In the middle of, like in Bolton, in the middle of October, we should have Bovril breaks for the pod.
Yeah, I heard that.
That'd be a great idea, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it's so funny. No, we're not going to need hydration breaks. And also, you know, in the acclimatised stadium, but it is all the fun, isn't it? It's all the fun.
Yeah.
Am I here for the birthday spread?
Oh no, we're not. We've parked it. We've parked it for the.
We'll let you play one week. We'd love
you know we play anyway.
Yes,
you're playing the car, don't you?
We're playing the car because I've turned your photos.
Yeah.
But my head is doubly pickled because A, Andy's here and it's a Thursday.
Yeah.
B, you're on at a different time.
Yeah.
I'm all over the place.
The listeners were saying that to us as well, but you know it's fine.
So I mean, I'm sure you've been taking in as many games as you can. So have you been enjoying it? I mean, sort of across the board, it's better than we all thought. The football, isn't it?
Yeah, and some of the really big teams that have been neutralised. All the home nations are playing out of their skin, which is amazing. It's just what you want. I sort of like, you know, I want Canada to win. I want they play tomorrow, don't they? And
USA made a good start.
They made a great start, and everybody's worried about. And it just shows you, doesn't it? I mean, I know you two sort of live and breathe football, but it just shows you that. That's why strikers cost more than defenders.
Yeah.
Because, you know, you can park the bus or you can do whatever you got to do or get really well set up at the back. But do you have people who are not frightened or intimidated of the goal? Harry Kane on the turn last night many times could have been, you know, have been 10-2, couldn't it? You know, and then Harry Kane drops steep and he's cool with that and he's free to play, you know, and it's just like, and goalkeepers. I said, what about the triple save last night?
Yes.
From the Croatian goalie.
Yeah. Mate.
I've never seen a triple save.
No, he was terrific.
Yeah.
You're right about Kane. The thing is that there's not many players who can drop the ball that he played into Madueke.
Amazing.
We haven't really got many players who can play that sort.
He loves it as well, doesn't he?
Apparently, he's a flat track bully.
According to Diddy, a man, he's a flat track bully. But I mean,
What's
Diddy,
a flat track
bully? Well, sort of Diddy was saying that
you only do well against teams that are rubbish.
He scores lots of goals against teams that aren't very good, but when it comes to France and
it's a
Spain,
sort of cricket reference.
Yeah, I get it. Okay.
So there's that feeling.
But he's on fire, though, isn't he?
Oh yeah. Well, he looks like he's really enjoying. I mean, it takes some cojones to do what he did last night, miss a penalty, especially after the one he missed against France, and then to go up and then go the other way because the keeper's expecting him.
So forgive me because I've obviously been doing what we do on on Virgin Radio. Yeah. Have you had the stutter chat?
Oh well, we can't. Yeah, we talked about the different ways he's approaching.
I try and be fluent normally.
Hey, it's not the birthday spread yet, Andy. I love it.
But yeah, he's got the stutter way where he waits. He tries to make the goalie commit, and he's got the other one where he picks his spot and says, I'll drill it.
So the other theory that's doing the rounds this morning?
No.
He knew that keeper was prone to coming off the line. And he stuttered, so he would come off the line. And if he missed, he would get another go at it. And if you actually watch it back, he just looks at the ref and say he came off the line.
Right.
Almost as if that was the plan.
Wow, that's a double. Did he know Vardiol was going to encroach as well?
No, he knew all that.
Mystic Harry. That's
I'm not going with that.
Now you're doing TFI Friday as well.
Just done it now.
You've just done another one.
Just another one, yeah.
Who have you had on? Can you tell us?
Yeah, of course. Loads of people. So we got a stand-up special. We got Jack Whitehall on. He was on here this week. So often guests that come here, go there, and the guests that come to us come to you. So Jack Whitehall's on. Then we got a stand-up special. Some TFI goal. We've got Steve Coogan, got Harry Hill telling his first ever joke. We've got Dawn French on the show. And then we got Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank from this week, which is why I was telling you that thing about Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank. And we've got Emmanuel Petit, and we've got Peter Crouch. We had Peter Crouch live from California after he just landed in his hot air balloon shaped in the Paddy Power underpants.
Oh, really?
It
doesn't surprise me.
There's this podcast which has all the listeners in the
it's one of Paddy's emblems.
Yeah, and Peter didn't know I was going up. His wife said, "Don't go up." He was up there for 2 hours while he did his podcast. He landed and then stayed awake for us to talk to him about it. And I said, "Peter, I don't really know why you did this." He said, "No."
I watched quite a few of the ones that are on Channel 4, and I got to say to you, I think it was the most brilliantly produced program. The switching between now and then, the archive, and the way you did some of the intros, even just cut.
You don't look any different either.
Oh well.
There's a bit. The fact I've still got some.
Yeah, that's better than me.
But you in the 90s. You were FHM in, weren't you?
FHM, but
were you the founding editor of FHM?
Originally, yeah.
Wow.
When it was for him.
And you were spitting imaging.
I did a bit of that, and worked with
fantasy football.
Right, really. That was 90 minutes.
Yeah.
Football magazine.
But just the use of the archive and some of the old interviews, but also the way, because the old show had a big, huge budget and had a big studio and lots of people, but somehow you've managed to create the same effect.
Yeah.
Here, which is incredible.
Yeah, well, it's just a team. I mean, it's a team. We got Tim, we got Chuck, who you may know, we got Kedge, who's studio producer.
Will.
We got Will. Yeah, Will. We fly Will in for guest appearances because Will's a big shot nowadays.
Oh, really?
And so it's going out on Channel 4 tomorrow. Just after 11.
It's only up against the Scotland game. We'll be fine. Channel 4 said, "Are you doing anything about football?" I said, "Well, we have got Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank, Peter Crouch, and Emmanuel Petit on." They went, "But won't that remind people that there's football on the other channel?" I went, "Well, I think they'll probably know."
Yeah, that's it. I imagine there's a fair crossover of your.
Well, I was grateful for the heads up.
Brilliant.
Well, thanks for popping in.
Oh, mate, thanks. I love it. I love you guys. I love your show. It's such a great listen. Honestly, I am honoured to be here.
Well, it would be lovely if you can do a little weekly pop in for us. We'd be most grateful. If you want to pop in every Thursday for the World Cup, we'd love it.
I would love that too. I'll try not to get on your nerves and bring something worth talking about. My favourite fact was the Messi fact that he's 22-1 to win the Golden Boot before that match, and he's now 5-4 on favourite after scoring a hat.
Wow.
That's got to be the biggest movement in the odds. Apart from Australia 500-1, then they won 200-1.
Oh wow!
And they're already paying out.
That is coming.
They're paying out. They're paying out in Australia winning the World Cup.
Good to see you, Chris.
Nice
Thanks for coming in.
Nice to see you, Andy.
Cheers.
Chris Evans there. It's Paul Hawksbee, Andy Jacobs here on talkSPORT. Chris Powell joining us for a chat. Former England coach in the next hour.
result yesterday came, of course, with Spain being held to a 0-0 draw against debutants Cape Verde. I don't know if you're aware of it. The Spanish captain Rodri criticised their defensive approach to the game. Rodri. He said, "This is what he said. He said that's how they play. They don't get past midfield. It's a matter of improving our finishing."
I think it's arrogant.
Tell me.
Don't expect Cape Verde to get the position of the ball and to create many occasions against Spain. Spain is one of the best teams in the world. So the way he said that, I think this is disrespectful for Cape Verde. And I think you should look at yourself in the mirror because you should have done better than that to win that game. You had some occasion to score, you didn't. And I think you have to put credit on the Cape Verde players because I think they defended like lions on the pitch.
Let's not forget as well, Spain had 27 shots, 7 shots on target. Ferran Torres has got to score that one way it's the bar. Sometimes you got to look at yourself, not at the opposition, are you? Look at, we don't want to go back to Arsenal.
Frustrations.
If Arsenal went open against PSG, we've seen what happened in the Bayern Munich game. You have to play to your strengths. And Cape Verde, like you says, defended like lions. The goalkeeper was outstanding.
You know, if you don't like their style of play, it's up to you to do enough, to win that game. I mean, I don't like those criticisms, when you meet opponents that are not at the same level. And at the end, you share the points and you think, they were too defensive. And
He's done that before, Rodri.
Yeah.
In Scotland that he did it.
Exactly.
The same thing,
So I don't like it at all.
Do you think we're going to see a lot more of that in this World Cup with the so-called bigger teams being held against the small ones? We saw it in Brazil and Morocco, right? Of
course.
Do you think it's a case of you would have played against one of the greatest Brazil sides of all time?
Sport.
With your headlines at 3 minutes past 11, I'm Nick Ellaby. Good morning. Harry Kane admits Mbappe and Messi's great starts gave him extra incentive to score. His double in England's World Cup 4-2 win over Croatia sees him equal Lineker's record of 10 goals at the tournament. But just how good were the opposition?
Yeah, Croatia are a very dangerous team. They've proven in tournaments. Luka Modric didn't look like the Luka Modric we knew because the game was so quick. We didn't play in Here's River.
Former England defender Warren Barton says keep playing like that and England won't lose many games. Meanwhile, what did Scotland supporters in Boston make of the performance?
No Scotsman's really going to be happy to see England win. The worrying thing is they actually look pretty good.
Unfortunately, I think this is going to give England a little bit of confidence.
It wasn't a test. It's not the Croatian team of a few years ago. Ghana will be a bigger test.
Scotland face Morocco live on talkSPORT tomorrow night. England face Ghana live on Tuesday night. Now, Ibrahima Konate's move to Real Madrid as a free agent is confirmed. It's a 4-year deal. Meanwhile, we're told Jose Mourinho wants Enzo Fernandez and Chelsea are willing to sell for $120 million. And England's bowlers are looking to wrap up New Zealand's first innings on day 2 of the second test at the Oval. Sam Ellard's there for us.
New Zealand's 300 has come up in the first over on day 2, 300 for 7, as has Glenn Phillips' 50. A shorter ball from Sonny Baker looking to pull it into the leg side, got a top edge, beat James Roux and went away for a boundary. So Phillips has got 54, Cole Jameson not out on 6. Sonny Baker took the first over on day 2 and looks like Josh Tongue is going to take the second as England go to the short ball tactic nice and early to Glenn Phillips. It is absolutely glorious here at the Oval. England chasing 3 final first innings wickets. New Zealand 300 for 7.
Thank you, Sam. Overseas listeners can hear live ball-by-ball commentary on the talkSPORT Cricket YouTube.
talkSPORT News.
The US tells NATO countries to up their defence spending, and just 104 serial shoplifters carried out thousands of offences in England and Wales. Sinead has more at past.
talkSPORT weather with QuickFit. Keep summer journeys safe. Visit your local centre or quickfit.com to book your tyres, MOTs and servicing so you can drive away happy every time.
In the northwest, rain is easing, drizzly across the west and southwest. Elsewhere, turning brighter and warmer, humid later in the southeast with thundery showers.
Good morning, it's Paul Hawksbee and Andy Jacobs. Got a bit of a spring in our step today, understandably, after England's win. I'm sure England fans out there are the same, and Scotland fans as well, looking forward to their big game live on talkSPORT tomorrow night.
Yeah, they were funny, the ones in the news this. They weren't too happy about England.
Against Morocco, so we'll be obviously building up to that. Tomorrow we're going to be chatting to Chris Powell, the former England coach. Scarlett Moffat joins us. Your boss probably won't be very happy that the World Cup's on at the moment. Scarlett will tell us why. But before all of that, talkSPORT, an official radio broadcaster of FIFA World Cup 2026. And to celebrate, we're giving you the chance to win £26,000. That's cash. And the best part, completely tax-free. That's right, 26 grand could be yours. Fund your summer. So enter now. Here's how you do it.
For your chance to win, visit talksportwin.com. or text WIN to 83338 by 6 p.m. on the 20th of July 2026. Text costs £2.50 plus your standard network rate, or send your name and number by post to Comp 1, PO Box 3190, Colchester, CO2 8GP, that's CO2 8GP, to arrive by midnight on the 23rd of July 2026, 18 plus, UK residents only. So for your chance to win, text WIN to 83338 now. It's a network promotion, full T's and C's at talksportwin.com.
Indeed.
Good luck.
Good luck. Yes,
Cougars would say.
People often say. Now, Charlie was telling us yesterday that on Monday evening, Tuesday evening, you went to see Barry Manilow, but wanted to watch the football as well. So, told us the songs that were being played at the point the goals went in in the France game.
Yeah, right.
So
that's very funny.
Then Karen got in touch yesterday because Charlie went and saw Barry Manilow in Birmingham. Karen was going to see him in London the last night of his tour, and she told us she was off to the game, and she's come back to us. Karen, thanks for this. She said, here goes. She says, I had a perfect evening, great concert, got to see the end of the football as well. So here we are. Let's have a bit of Barry to kick it off. This is Karen's take on it. Kick-off was during Can't Smile Without You, one for the Spurs fans.
That's good.
England 1-0, Kane penalty miss. It was This One's For You they were playing. Or This Two's For You because of the retake. Croatia won. Their equaliser, Could It Be Magic? Well, thankfully it wasn't. England 2, Kane second.
Could it be Modric?
They were singing... They were singing Happy Birthday to Barry. It was his birthday. The crowd was singing when Harry Kane got the second. So a little birthday present from Bazza. 2-2.
Barry to Harry.
Yeah, Barry to Harry.
Tremendous.
Croatia 2-2. Mandy was playing.
All right.
I see those arms. We'll meet again. The encore was during Bellingham's. What, the Vera Lynn song?
No, well, yes.
I suppose it was.
Well, why not? It's a classic.
And then by the end of the game, she was on the Vera Lynn because she was in the pub. I was back in the Spoons and saw Rashford's 4-2. Karen, thank you very much for that.
A great report,
that's a great... If you are going to gigs when there's games on, if you do want to tell us what songs were being played at certain points, then we'll certainly take those during the duration of the tournament. And we keep chatting about... We've got our Creature of the Night coming up later. Somebody who's part of our army of nocturnal beasts who staying up and watching some of the maybe less glamourable games, as our own Stuart Pearce would say, and reporting on them so you don't have to stay up till 3-4 o'clock in the morning. But that's not true for everybody. You've got to think of football fans abroad, such as Mark, the Bradford City fan. He said, I live in New Zealand. Normally I have to watch or listen to English football at 2, 3, 4, 5 a.m. He said, this World Cup for me is payback. It's on literally all day from 7 a.m.
It's perfect.
And I saw Uzbekistan, Colombia, etc. It's brilliant, he says. So, Mark,
perfect for him.
Thanks for tuning in. Cheers, Mark. Thank you.
Gordon from Utoxeter wrote possibly one of the worst letters I've ever seen about football to the Star today.
Yes.
He said, yes, Mbappe can score goals, but when he gets tackled, as Anne Robinson stated, Mbappe, you are the weakest link. Goodbye. France, you've gone. Au revoir. Bye-bye. Could you know less about football?
I think he's gone a bit early.
Gordon, give it up, mate.
He should be on RT with Didier, I would imagine. That would go down quite well.
The other night, when Mbappe scored that beautiful goal,
the third
one, you saw it through ref cam.
Yeah.
And it's amazing how they don't react. I thought you might do, was it a Brian Glover's teacher, when he's ref and he celebrates? They don't react at all. I don't know how you do the because they've got ice in their veins.
They've got a job of work to do. You can't be standing there clapping.
No, but there's
clapping
just a part of you that might go, just a little, just a sort of discernible wow, you know, it's amazing how they don't do that.
That's not. Well, I mean, look, they all love football. They wouldn't be doing.
No, that's
it,
I remember
doing
speaking to a referee and saying it was Graham Pollard that told us, you know, having that view of these great players.
Yeah, he said it is the greatest
You know,
privilege,
of course
isn't it?
it is. It's wonderful. That's why I know they have to do it, but it is amazing that they're able to do it.
Yeah. Our old mate Keith Cooper, father of Steve, former Forest manager, Keith used to say to us, and like, if players score great goals, he'd often sidle up after us. What a fantastic finish. Because he absolutely loves football.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, you must get lost. But also, you've got to think now, there is a cacophony going on in their head. They're on like an open talkback in telly.
Yeah, it's true.
They're hearing everything that's going on. They've got a lot of noise, and they've got to concentrate on other stuff.
That is true, really.
But it would be, maybe the referee gets involved in the cuddle afterwards, jumps on their
Paul
back.
Tierney.
Anyway.
But, just very quickly, this love an old-fashioned match report beginning. This is Jerry Lawton from the Star. Lions slick in smooth win over Croatia. It was oil right on the night as Harry Kane kicked off the World Cup with a slick double to sink Croatia. Captain Fantastic drilled home. You get the idea there. Yeah. To end 60 years of hurt.
Because they were in Texas. That's the whole point.
A dream start in America's black gold capital.
Ah, there we are, fan. Well done, Jerry. Yeah. So get in touch, 03717 223344, talksport.com, text to 81089 or tweet to TSH&J. Andy, the Plymouth fan, has got in touch. Hi, Andy.
Yeah, hi, good morning. How can I follow Chris Evans?
Oh, yes, yeah, he won't mind. He'll be happy to hear what you've got to say. So, you're feeling good today, I take it, Andy?
Yeah, I'm feeling good. You know, I was listening to the commentary from the TV a couple of days ago, and they say Tuchel wants to try and play the professional Premier League style. And I switched on England, I watched this, and I'm thinking, I am not seeing the Premier League style of this at all. And I thought, and then I heard Andy at half time. Wasn't it good to hear somebody actually telling the truth to us for once?
Yeah. And so, but you must have been. I mean,
you mean Anthony Barry?
Anthony.
Oh yes, Anthony Barry.
Sorry, no, I wasn't there.
No, it's look. We're going to talk to Chris Powell about that in a moment because he's been an England coach. We weren't expecting that, as Andy Jacobs said. It was all going to be platitudes, wasn't it? Oh, well, we'll do our best second half. We've had a word with the boys. To hear a coach basically say what they've just said in the dressing room to the players and see how annoyed and frustrated he was refreshing, wasn't it?
Yeah, I don't actually want to hear somebody say, well, keep the high balls low and, you know, run and chase and
exactly.
pass it backwards, you know? And then I'm thinking, that's not the way the Premiership plays. And in the second half, they did exactly what they do in the Premiership.
Yeah.
And it was so good to watch. Excuse me.
Yeah.
But then when I look at it from a goal-scoring point of view, and I'm thinking, okay, the guys really step up. You know, the top players in the world really step up. Then you had Messi scoring 3, Mbappe scoring 2, Kane scoring 2. And look at Portugal. I think, Ronaldo, you've got to be on the bench, boy. You're no good.
Yeah.
I wouldn't write him off yet.
I mean, there's no one better.
Gordon from Utoxeter, is it?
There's no one better. There's no one better with our back against the wall, really. So I think he'll come out punching. Good man. Thanks very much for joining us. There we are. It was Andy, the Plymouth fan, there enjoying Anthony Barry's work. Let's see what Chris Powell made of it. He's been in that position as an England coach, and it was quite refreshing and surprising to hear just how they were feeling. Well, we don't normally hear half-time interviews anyway, and the players have not been keen. Max Scott was telling us yesterday that Vinny Jr. didn't want any part of it, really. He didn't want to be involved. But Chris joins us next. We'll be catching up with Rupert Bell and Lizzie Kelly. We've got live racing from Royal Ascot once again today, and they'll just set the scene. Scarlett Moffat joins us for a chat. Have we had a drop catch, Andy?
Yeah.
Oh, dear.
Oh, that was so poor by Duckett.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah, well, anyway, we'll get details of that from the second test at the Oval. Sam Ellard's going to keep us in touch, but yeah, he doesn't look very pleased with himself. We're here, of course, with our very good friends at Selco Builders Warehouse. It's where the trade go.
You and I have spoken about your battle in inverted commas with Bukayo Saka.
Yeah.
He's just spoken very highly about you in the press conference.
Yeah. What did he say?
He said you were his brother.
Yeah.
So give some love back to B.
No, he knows. We know. Everyone talks about rivalry and stuff, but if you see us, you wouldn't think that. Of course, we're competitors at heart for sure, and we play in the same position for club and country. So there's that natural competition, but it's not rivalry for sure. We know we're pulling in the same direction. We know we both have parts to play for club and for country. So whenever he's playing, I want him to do the best he can because he's an amazing player and it's going to help us win. And I'm sure he thinks the same. So that's really it.
It seems to be a bit of a theme, actually. Thomas Tuchel has almost created he's been very clear in everybody's roles, 2 players for each position and then, elsewhere, and that you're close, the people that you're... What does that do and how does it help?
Yeah, I think it's great, to be honest. And I feel like also we have such an amazing team where everybody knows how good they are. So it's like, it's not that you're going to be on the bench and you're rubbish. It might be that opponent, that team suits one player better or someone's in form and, but like if you look at the last game, how the subs came on and won the game for us so easily. That's the strength and depth we have, and it's gonna be crucial for this tournament.
You impressed as well against Costa Rica. It was great seeing you back out there.
Yeah.
We've spoken previously about wanting to score more goals.
Yeah.
Is that the main part of your game that you're working on? Is being more clinical?
Yeah, definitely. I want to be more ruthless. I feel like to go to that level where I'm one of the.
It's showtime on talkSPORT with BetMGM. We're ready for the action. Are you? Visit betmgm.co.uk or download the app. 18 plus. GambleAware.org.
Just time to get all the odds once again with our good friends at BetMGM. Alex licenses back from BetMGM. Hi, Alex.
Morning, guys. How are we doing?
Yeah, we're not so bad. 45 minutes in, I might not have felt like that, but a whole lot better at the end of the game. I wonder, from a punter's point of view, I doubt many people had a 6-goal thriller, did they?
Well, yeah, a good night for England, and it was a good night for the punters, to be fair. Looking at some of the most popular selections in terms of like your bet builders, people had Kane to score 2 shots on targets. Obviously, Bellingham scored, and he scored quite a few for England at major tournaments. So yeah, quite a lot of the popular picks landing last night. For me was, I don't know whether you guys agree, the best game of the tournament so far.
Well, I think Andy made the point during the game to me. He sent me a WhatsApp. If you didn't have skin in the game, it was probably a brilliant watch. But it's harder, isn't it? When you're rooting for your team, it's a lot harder to enjoy it in the moment. It's lovely to enjoy it afterwards, of course.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I mean, I agree. I mean, the defence, it was a concern that first half, wasn't it? And I hope they can sort of settle that down throughout the tournament. But I think the main learning point is the difference between, I think we saw the difference between a Tuchel side and a Southgate side last night, didn't we? I mean, if you listen to the interview at half-time, the assistant, he was quite clearly annoyed at how England played, said they weren't brave enough. Bellingham and Kane, straight after the game, were saying that they were told at half-time that if we lose, then we're going to lose playing our way. And I think that's really refreshing, and we come out that second half front foot and we look really, really dangerous. I mean, I mentioned yesterday, Kane, he was 2 away from Gary Lineker's World Cup record. He was 5-1 score brace. Obviously, that came in, and on the back of that, we've seen a big shift in the Golden Boot market. He's now third favourite at 10-3. You've got Messi and Mbappe joint favours at 3-1, and you'd imagine that's going to end up going to be one of those three or Haaland, but that's probably purely dependent on how far they go.
I take it Ronaldo's drifted a bit since last night, Alex, hasn't he?
Just a little bit, yeah. He was 20-1 before a ball was kicked. He's now 40-1.
Wow.
We discussed, didn't we, yesterday, Ronaldo, but he looked every bit like a 41-year-old last night, I'm sorry to say. And I think there's a big decision there, isn't there? Does he drop him? Does he drop himself? Because he's obviously got a lot of skin in what goes on. But yeah, it was a little bit brutal.
That won't be him.
I'd give very good odds on him dropping himself.
That won't happen. Just quickly though, I mean, you made the point about Southgate and Tuchel, but without Southgate, Tuchel wouldn't have this opportunity. I do think people are very quick to criticise Gareth.
Yeah,
you have to remember what England were like when they came in.
Yeah, he has established a foundation that the Tuchel's been able to build on. But I do take your point. You know, it was good to see him with the shackles off, and that was often a criticism of Gareth. But so first round games all done. We get into second round of games. It's been interesting, isn't it? I mean, we've had a fair few shocks.
It's Spain, Portugal, and Brazil have underperformed out of the big teams. I think.
Yeah. I mean, have we read too much in? I mean, we looked at Messi, but with respect, they weren't up against a particularly great side. I mean, that's the thing with England. They're Croatia are a highly ranked team in the FIFA rankings, and so in terms of impressive performances, that's right up there.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I mean, I think everyone, myself included, was probably a little bit sceptical of it being extended to like 48 teams. You've got the inclusion of obviously some of the small names, but personally, I've really enjoyed it so far. Obviously, it always helps when England win, but you look at, like you said, you look at some of the results of those smaller sides, Cape Verde with Spain, Congo with Portugal, and even Scotland managed to get a win, didn't they? So some of the smaller nations are enjoying themselves. But no, in all seriousness, yeah, I would say France, Argentina, England. Would you agree? Standout performers.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so far, I mean, it's interesting.
And France beat a very good Senegal team.
Yeah, that's the other thing.
I'd say 3 up before they scored.
Yeah, they could have. Yeah, again, that was a poor first half where they rode their luck. But we saw
Senegal and Morocco, who contested the African nations. They'll seem to be the ones that will go the furthest.
Seeing Brazil again is going to be very interesting, Alex, isn't it? I think Tim Vickery will join us tomorrow. Tim was saying that they got out of jail because they've got a great individual on the pitch, but that's been true of quite a few teams, Excuse me, Mbappe second half stepped up and made the difference. Kane was big and Bellingham was big. I think all the sides, if they're going to win a World Cup, are going to rely on their kind of clutch players, aren't they?
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I mean, like you mentioned, Brazil, they faced Morocco. I was really impressed with Morocco, actually, and that game with Scotland tomorrow should be decent. But we have seen after round one, we had a look at sort of how the outrights markets have changed. The sort of main pick-outs is France. Obviously, they've gone into favourites now 4-1. England come in shortly to 6-1 from 7-1. Spain drifted on the back of that draw to 6-1, and then Brazil, as you mentioned, they've drifted after that draw with Morocco out to 10. So I don't know. Do you think is that value Brazil for 10s, or did we not see enough?
I think England are value at 6-1, especially each way.
Yeah. I think Brazil will get better. I mean, it's going to be interesting because they would have had a rocket up them. And we know from Tim that there's been a pretty adverse reaction back home. But you've got, one of the greats in Ancelotti, so it's a puzzle for him to solve. Quick one on the US Open that gets underway at Shinnecock Hills a little bit later on. Who are the favourites for this?
Yeah, it gets underway today, doesn't it? And as you would imagine, Scotty Scheffler, he leads the market at 11-2. He's looking to complete his career Grand Slam, but notably has had a bit of a poor year, not winning anything so far. You've got Rory just behind him. He's at 13-1. did win the US Open, but has also been quite vocal about how tricky he finds this course in particular. And then if you're feeling a bit patriotic with everything going on, then Tommy Fleetwood, 18-1. He was 4th at the Memorial, 2nd at this course back in 2018. Or if you're looking for some longer price each way picks, Aaron Rai famously won the PGA Championship, of course. He's way out at 80-1. Granted, he's won nothing since that PGA, but this course could suit him. And we are at BetMGM offering some enhanced places up to the top 10. So if you fancy Aaron Ryan, you fancy in the top 10, he's a little bit shorter than that at 60-1.
Matt Fitzpatrick, I wouldn't put you off if I could actually say his name. Matt Fitzpatrick.
It's about keeping the ball on the fairway in that course. Have you seen the rough?
Yeah,
you just can't get out of it.
Absolutely, it's brutal, isn't it? Nice one, Alex. We'll catch up with you tomorrow. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, guys.
Alex Licence there from BetMGM. That's all the latest odds. Thanks to BetMGM. Visit betmgm.co.uk. You can download the app. 18+, begambleaware.org.
It's showtime on talkSPORT with BetMGM. Keep things golden with responsible play at betmgm.co.uk. 18+, gambleaware.org.
Jameson in the face. There we go.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, we're just keeping an eye on the cricket for you. Sam Ellard is at the Oval watching the second test unfold. And just before we brought you the travel about 6-7 minutes ago, you heard Andy go, oh, no. That was because Ben Duckett dropped a bit of a dolly, didn't he, Sam?
Well, it was such a perfect time to take a wicket just before the new ball, and the new batsman would have had to face that. It was a big error.
Yeah, he was gutted, you could tell.
Yeah, it was a really, really simple catch. England in the first 27 minutes this morning have been nowhere near good enough. We sensed New Zealand were going to come out and play some shots. They've done that, and they've already moved the score on to 325 for 7. Kyle Jamieson, in particular, came out swinging, got a few boundaries away early, including a pretty fortunate top edge that went over the keeper. Then there was that drop. Short ball from Baker. Jamieson taking on the short ball, putting the ball out to Ben Duckett at deep mid-wicket. He had so much time, maybe too much time, and he dropped a really, really straightforward catch. Glenn Phillips has got to 50. He's had to fight really, really hard. There was a fascinating spell of fast bowling late last night. Jofra Archer to Glenn Phillips. Archer must have hit Phillips on the arm, on the shoulder, on the helmet at least around half a dozen times last night. Phillips managed to get through that spell. He's got to 50. He played his best shot of the innings after getting to his half century, flicking a full ball through mid-wicket off Josh Tongue. So Phillips has got 65. Cole Jamieson's got 17. England have just taken the new ball. It's Tongue and Baker with the new ball, and they've gone to a more conventional field early on day 2. They went for the short ball tactic where they pretty much bowl every ball short with the fielders packed on the leg side. More of a conventional field now with 3 slips in. It's Tongue and Baker taking the second new ball, but New Zealand, I think, having been put into bat yesterday morning, will be happy with where they're at, especially with Glenn Phillips at the crease, and we know he's a fantastic one-day player, T20 player. If he does start playing some shots, he can move this game on very, very quickly. New Zealand 325 for 7.
Sam, tell us a bit about your new podcast. You and Faraz Noor, that people will know from Traitors. He's a club cricketer, a big cricket fan. You've got together for a new podcast, I understand.
Yeah, how's that for a pod, which you can get on your normal podcast providers or on the talkSPORT Cricket YouTube channel. Of course, talkSPORT brings you the Following On podcast, which is with the brilliant Neil Manthorpe and the Double Ashes winner Steve Harmison. But yeah, myself, Faraz Noor, and also Georgie Heath as well, who's currently covering the T20, the Women's T20 World Cup. Just going to provide a different podcast, if you like, taking a look at sort of the bigger stories in the world of cricket, taking a look at sort of some of the domestic stories, going into good detail on the Women's T20 World Cup with Georgie, covering that and commentating on that. I'm doing a podcast every single week, out on Wednesdays. How's that for a pod, which you can get on your usual podcast platforms, and also you can watch it as well on the talkSPORT Cricket YouTube channel.
Nice one. Cheers, Sam. Thanks a lot.
Cheers, guys.
Sam Ellard there at the Oval. Back to Sam a little bit later on. We'll keep you updated.
They made it right, Messi. They should have batted and they should have played a spinner. They got it completely wrong.
Yeah,
brilliant, isn't it?
Well, we've got Royal Ascot, of course. Rupert Brown, Lizzie Kelly will set the scene a little bit later on. Scarlett Moffat joining us for a chat as to why your boss probably isn't a massive fan of the World Cup. She'll tell us why. But Chris Powell, the former England player and coach, is going to join us for a chat to give us his take on what he saw last night in Dallas. That's coming up next.
Tottenham Hotspur board and executive team are fully focused on delivering commitments that we set out to fans at the end of the season. We are all in. We're investing in it. You'll see more of this in the coming months. Is this evidence of what they're going to try and do?
Well, they can talk to Ferenc Puskas for a medium if they want, but they're not going to sign Tonelli. He's not going to sign for Tottenham. But why? Because I doubt that he will see an upward move being Tottenham Hotspur, given that he's been at Newcastle, given that the expectation of Newcastle was far greater than ultimately he possibly signed on for. You know, the expectation was that the ownership would have pushed harder and higher. There's expectations of him being to slightly bigger clubs. I wouldn't be surprised if he ends up at Arsenal, and the same thing happens to Spurs of Eberechi Eze as it does with Tonali. Now, there's never been an issue with Spurs' spending, has there? I mean, I thought Spurs were spending 150, 200 million pounds pretty regularly, both with this new ownership, laughable new ownership, and the previous incumbent management with Daniel.
Yeah.
So there was never an issue. They were spending 70 odd million quid on Dominic Solanke, weren't they, a couple of years ago? It's been about the wages. The wages are the issue that Tottenham Hotspur have found themselves falling foul of because they won't adjust their wage parameters, because they've got banking covenants that support their borrowings. So I never felt for one moment that these guys wouldn't spend more money. They've made so much bloody noise about how much money they're going to spend. I mean, they spent a wonderful investment in January of this year, didn't they, when they were banging in trouble, and they spent £35 million on Conor Gallagher, who they recouped by selling Brennan Johnson to Palace. So there's no surprise in my mind. There's no surprise in my mind that they will spend money.
Well, they're going to get Van Hecke. They might get to Mali. We don't.
Wow.
Yeah, but come on.
No, come on, what?
Jude Bellingham says playing with a chip on his shoulder will bring out the best of him at this World Cup. The former England captain Stuart Pearce says England's number 10 made the difference in the win over Croatia.
They look to go forward with energy, with pace, with power, and I've got to say Bellingham led that. He really did in the second half, in my opinion. He got the goal, but he got his towel up and he was roaring the team forward.
After a nervy first half with a score at 2-2, Thomas Tuchel did exactly what the FA brought him in for. His team talk transformed England.
I want him to be brave, courageous, intense and on the front foot and do it together and just go for it.
Kane, Bellingham and Rashford all on the score sheet. Meanwhile, the former England striker Darren Bent wants Mark Gahey to start the next game. Here's why.
John Stones, he naturally plays on the right-hand side, right? And it's Maguire that usually plays on the left when it was those two. When you move John Stones out to the left, naturally he doesn't go that way to Nico O'Reilly, which is why he barely touched the ball.
England v Ghana is live on talkSPORT on Tuesday night. Elsewhere, Ghana nicked a 95th minute winner to beat Panama 1-0. Colombia top Group K, they beat Uzbekistan 3-1. Away from the World Cup, and we're hearing that Liverpool will hijack Newcastle's move to sign young Spanish striker Victor Munoz. And we understand Chelsea are up for selling Enzo Fernandez to Real Madrid. Jose Mourinho has made Enzo his top target. More at talksport.com.
Thanks for getting in touch today. Don't forget, you can give us a call and give us your take on last night's game. 03717223344. Talksport.com, text to 81089, tweet to TSH and J. There's been a talk about defensive frailties. Mike the Blackburn Rovers fan in Beverley, says, I recall the Brazil side of 1970 had a few defensive failings as well.
Yeah.
Take your point. If we can go the same way, Mike, that would be very nice.
I think football's changed a bit since then.
Has changed a bit. This is from Tony. How good was the referee last night? Why can't our referees perform to that standard and make a game flow beautifully? The interesting thing was, had it been a non-European referee last night, it would have been really stop-start because there were some big old tackles going in.
Yeah.
And because Clement Turpin's done lots of football and done lots of Champions League football, often against
That's a good point.
two English sides, or two big European sides.
It's been a general move not to be a Mr. Fussy. Most of the games, the refs have tried to let it flow.
But I think you saw that last night. It would have been far more stop-start in other hands. So, despite all the pre-game stuff and Tuchel's previous with him, he had a great game because he is a
That
great
sometimes
ref.
works in your favour. Yeah, he's a good ref.
Joining us now then to reflect on last night. Very interesting to get a former England coach's take in light of Anthony Barry's half-time cameo when he called out what was going wrong. It is Chris Powell. Hi, Chris.
Hi, Paul. Hi, Andy.
Yeah, good to talk to you. Before we get into the football, a call to arms to many of our listeners, the men listening today, and very timely, really, in light of the news about Jeremy Clarkson yesterday. Tell us more, Chris.
Yeah, well, it's just with regards to prostate cancer and how it affects all men. It's the most common cancer in the UK. And, it's something that's close to my heart, just because I've been ambassador for a long time. I think I've told you guys before, I've actually saved someone's life just through doing a marathon for Prostate Cancer UK. So it's something that's prevalent in my life that, I always to people about it. It increases the risk for me and my family and my community. And, I will always talk about it because we know, we always say that men don't talk about health and issues. But it's good if you do, because it might save your life or it might save someone else's.
Yeah. I mean, you say your community and Chris Houghton, who's recently had prostate cancer operation, came in and talked about it with us. Again, he wants people to get themselves checked. And Colin McFarlane, who's an ambassador like yourself, comes and sees us, the actor. And there is a higher propensity for prostate cancer in the black community, isn't there, Chris?
There is, Paul, and, I don't know why. It's obviously genetics or whatever. I really don't know, but it's about trying to save lives and save people. And 12,000 men die each year. 64,000. If I can get a Spurs link in, if you think of the stadium when it's a capacity, that's the amount of men that get diagnosed each year.
Wow. Yeah, that is a sobering thought. And the 30-second risk checker test that you can do online, I mean, it's so straightforward, and it just kind of highlights maybe if you are more at risk than maybe other people are. You haven't got to have the blood test straight away. You certainly haven't got, as Colin always says, the finger up the bum straight away. The thing is, you can go there and take that test, and that's the starting point. And it is a very... I had one earlier this week. I had a part of the other blood test. I had a PSA blood test. My GP's been great about that, constantly offering them, and hopefully other GPs are doing that. So it's not a difficult process, is it?
It isn't. It's scary because it's the first step. But as we all know, once you take that first step, it could save your life. It could save someone else's, and that's the most important thing. And I get myself checked every year. I'm due my check in the next sort of month or so. And like you've just mentioned, I've had the PSA, but I've also had the other test.
The other test, let's call it that.
I mean,
absolutely.
I've had the biopsy, so there.
You've had the biopsy?
That's really
Andy's playing prostate cancer top trump. Go and check out the Prostate Cancer UK website. It's a 30-second interactive test, and it's certainly worth doing. Chris, you've been in that role under Gareth of England coach. So to hear Anthony Barry come out at half time as he did, Thomas Tuchel's assistant, and basically say exactly what they've been saying in the dressing room. We're frustrated, we're angry. They're playing long when they should be playing short. They're playing short when they should be playing long. It was quite refreshing, wasn't it?
He was saying what everyone else was thinking, basically. Yeah. Paul. And I don't think I would have ever done that in my England days. But I suppose in many ways, he's not sugarcoating it. You can see it with Tuchel. He's very upfront. He can be quite funny and a bit goofy at times, but he knows his football. And even though it was, I suppose, a watchable first half, not so much for us conceding 2 goals, especially the one on the stroke of half time. But with Anthony saying that, and then the response from the team, I mean, you could see it in the first 10, 15 minutes that they obviously knew that Thomas wasn't happy with their performance. I thought overall, I know it was 4-2, but I actually think in many ways there was a lot to like about the team. And especially after watching France and Argentina and even Haaland scoring his 2 goals, you know, Harry's sitting there thinking, okay, it's my turn. England are thinking everyone else has sort of performed. Germany have scored 7. And I suppose the longer it goes on, you think we need to play, we need to get going. I think there was a bit of nerves at the start, which is natural. But I thought they grew into it. And I think the big thing for us are the game changers, the subs. I can't see another team, another country having that quality for sort of the last 20, 30 minutes. And I think that's going to be very important, especially in the knockout games.
And it was some of the unsung boys last night. I mean, Saka, we always felt Saka would come on and make a difference because he's a class act. But Jed Spence's inclusion raised a few eyebrows. But he was so instrumental in that goal by Rashford. And I thought he did well. And he had a chance to score, didn't he? A one-on-one with the keeper. I thought, again, he stepped up and did very well.
He's a good player, Paul. I know you and I, because of our Spurs links, we've seen a lot of him. He's a good player there. You know, he's very happy one-on-one. He likes to defend, you know, and I've read Thomas talk about that. He does. Not many fullbacks do. Everyone talks about them going forward, but actually when you have to defend against top level, and let's not mess around. You know, if we get into sort of the last 8, last 4, you're against Yamal or you're against Elise. These are top guys, you know, and you have to defend one-on-one and be good at it. And I thought he was exceptional. I mean, if he had scored, you know, I think I'm not sure he got an assist for Spurs last season. No. But he's already got one for Harry against New Zealand. Could have scored last night. And it might be a World Cup for players like him to play a real important part. And I thought they did particularly well last night.
Yeah. Super quick. Quick question about Ted Lasso, your wonderful performance in the first 3 series. Are you in this series? Because it is about women's football, so maybe not. But
well, I think you've read my mind, Andy, and everyone else is unfortunately not in season 4.
You never got the call, Chris. Yeah. Oh, no.
I actually did get the call.
Oh, right.
Very early on, but I think they obviously changed tack and changed script, and there's not many of the players. The staff are back, obviously Brendan and Jason, but no, unfortunately, I'm not in season 4, but I'll be watching it like everyone else.
Good stuff. Well, Chris, good to talk to you. We'll catch up with you soon and hopefully a bit later on in the tournament. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, guys.
Take care of this. Chris Powell, former England coach and England defender. And as Chris said, go to the Prostate Cancer UK website. Take that 30-second risk check. It's well worth it. As Chris said, you know, it's as fundamental as it could potentially save your life. It's Paul Hawksbee and Andy Jacobs here on talkSPORT. Rupert Bell, Lizzie Kelly going to set the scene for a big day's racing at Royal Ascot. And Scarlett Moffat joins us for a chat as well on the World Cup. We're going to take on it. And why your boss is probably not a massive fan of the tournament. We're here with Selco Builders Warehouse. Check out this month's real deals at selcobw.com.
I think all England have to do is win. And I disagree, Andy. There has to be a good performance tomorrow, because if there isn't, we already seen the kind of pressure that Thomas Tuchel's on for not picking, Trent, for not picking some of the players he's picked. They have to score tomorrow and they have to perform well.
Yeah, but I understand why you would say that, but look at Spain, right? I mean, it was an awful performance, but we've seen teams start the competition really poorly and go on to actually win it. We've seen teams lose their first game and go on to win it. For me, as an England fan, although I will sit here tomorrow and say it was a terrible performance, but we won 1-0, if we win 1-0 and we get all 3 points, that, for me, is the most important thing.
Overall, but you don't compare us to Spain. No disrespect, we're nowhere near them.
I'm not comparing. I'm just giving you an example of a team that plays badly and doesn't
That's a bad example. That's a bad example because we haven't won, Andy.
Well, no. I'm not comparing. Argentina. I'm not comparing England to Argentina, but they have lost an opening group game and gone on to win the World Cup.
That's still a bad example, Andy, because these are teams that have won the World Cup.
Okay, Joe, what would you rather? Okay, what would you rather have tonight? An unbelievable England performance, Harry Kane hat-trick, we draw 3-3, or a terrible, one of the worst performances you've ever seen, and we win with a 90th minute penalty?
Well, Andy, of course we would rather win.
That's what I'm saying.
Those examples that you gave are with teams that have started badly and gone on to win the World Cup.
Well, no, I'm just giving you examples of teams that haven't started the competition well and gone on to the late stages. I don't think it's important that England play well tonight. I think it's important we win. What's key tonight? If number one thing that needs to happen, is it a win or performance? The number one, top of the list.
The number one thing that needs to happen, Andy, is
We all enjoyed last night's England-Croatia game in weird and wonderful places, and that includes our next two guests who watched it in the Novotel in Reading.
Of course.
The glamorous.
Where better?
The glamorous. If you can't be in Dallas, be in the Novotel in Reading. Rupert Bell and Lizzie Kelly, who are going to be bringing us commentary on talkSPORT 2 from Royal Ascot Day 3. So what was the viewing experience like?
Was it rocking?
Especially for a Scotland fan like you, Lizzie.
No, Scotland, no party. I loved it.
Yeah.
Loved it. It was great.
Can I say, we have great food at Royal Ascot, but it all went the other direction at the Novotel Reading.
Oh. I'm sure they did their best.
I don't need to know that.
Yeah.
But it was... No. It was all right, and there was a lot of racegoers basically, because Reading's obviously quite convenient to get to, so there was lots of racegoers just taking it in, probably knackered from the day at the races, but it was very pleasant viewing in the end, because it was pretty stressful, I would suggest.
Yeah.
Splitting in the second half.
Nice and communal, though, Lizzie, isn't it? Just to be in a, even if sort of people are not, nobody's throwing beer in the air. It's not Box Park, but still, you are watching it with other England fans, so it's a kind of communal experience.
Yeah, absolutely. I've actually never watched football with anyone else.
Oh, really?
So Yeah, I've only ever watched it at home. So it was.
And you had to pick me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Never again.
And I enjoyed it, actually. There was lots of sort of whooping and cheering and oohing and ahhing, and it was lovely.
Communal experience.
It is, yeah.
It was great. Yeah, definitely. I would recommend it.
Good. Well, you've got a nice day's racing ahead, including the Gold Cup, the big feature race at 4:15. Lizzie, if maybe mark the card of some of the listeners. Tell us who you fancy for this one.
Yeah, this is going to be a really, really good race. It's a more difficult race than last year, and so Trawlerman, last year's winner, who's in here again today, he's got his work cut out. We've got Rahab, who I followed a lot last year. He's a lovely individual. Scandinavia is the Aidan O'Brien runner with Ryan Moore on board. He has done plenty. He won the St. Ledger last year and the Goodwood Cup last year. So he comes here with a real live chance. It's got to be mentioned that Trawlerman will be wearing goggles in the parade ring and down to the start. BHA won't let John Gosden, his trainer, run Trawlerman in his ski goggles.
Right.
But he's wearing them because he finds the sunshine quite bright, and he's obviously got like a sensitivity to the sunshine. They were hoping it would be quite overcast during the race.
You remember Mike Parry's idea for wing mirrors?
Wing mirrors on horses, yeah.
This is not quite in that level, but Trawlerman will be going down in a pair of
Ray-Bans.
Ski
Look tremendous. pair of wayfarers. That'd look fantastic on a horse, wouldn't it?
Well, we'll be intrigued to see him, and there will be a great deal of interest on the aforementioned goggles that Trawlerman will wear, as you say. Not in the race, but obviously, and the jockey, William Buick, will sort of whip off the goggles, presumably just as they come out of the stalls.
No, he won't be allowed in the stalls in them, surely.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I've never seen it
What
before.
about
You're a
floppy
horse
sun
person.
hat? That might help.
Why doesn't William... Yeah, what a big old boater. Why doesn't William Buick wear goggles as well as a sort of show of solidarity with a horse? Well, look, guys, we've got to press on. What time are you underway on talkSPORT 2, Rupert?
I think we're underway at 2 o'clock, just in time to watch the royal procession come down.
Lovely.
And then we'll kick off with 4 races live on talkSPORT 2 with me and Lizzie. Hopefully, it will be a cracking Gold Cup at 4:15.
Have a great day. Thanks, guys. Thanks very much.
Thank you so much.
Rupert Bell and Lizzie Kelly there, as we said, over on talkSPORT 2. Lots of live racing from Royal Ascot. We'll get some updates on the golf when it gets underway. The US Open gets underway. I think about 12:30 we'll bring you the first of our updates. And the cricket not going magnificently for
Any
England.
chance Thomas Tuchel can replace Brendan McCullum?
Yeah, 356 for 7. A drop catch by Ben Duckett is proving quite costly at the moment. Anyway, let's move on. Does your boss like the World Cup? Probably not, because your productivity is down because of your sleep deprivation. Here to tell us more, who's right across this, TV's very own Queen of the Jungle, Scarlett Moffat. Hi, Scarlett.
Hiya, thank you very much for having us. Honestly, my dad is very excited.
Oh, good. Well, he's a talkSPORT listener, is he?
He is, and do you know what? I just love talking all things World Cup because it doesn't matter whether you're a Newcastle supporter like us or Tottenham Hotspurs or Chelsea, everyone comes together.
Well, that's true.
Very true. Time it is.
That's true. Have you been watching much of it yourself, Scarlett?
I have. I've been watching it on my Freely TV because I can flip between the World Cup and Love Island, which is...
Well, that's what the England boys have been doing. There's been a problem in the camp. There certainly was last week when some of the lads wanted to watch games, but some of them wanted to watch Love Island.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Feel the pain, see? You need to try and do both. But I think it's lovely because, I mean, it's definitely coming home this year. I can feel it.
Okay.
And a lot of us are staying home because the match times are so late.
Yeah. Well, I mentioned the work
about
productivity. You're doing a bit of work with Freddie. 44% are expected to not be performing as well at work because they're staying up watching matches.
But bringing the step today, though.
Sorry, yeah, that's true. I mean, your productivity will be up after an England win, won't it? You'll be in a great mood.
Exactly. Also, it only happens once every 4 years.
Yeah.
You know, I would watch England play Tiddlywinks. I think it's such a wonderful experience, and I think, like, it's nostalgic. Like, I've got a 3-year-old little boy, another little boy on the way, and I think these are memories. Like, I just think, oh, it doesn't matter if we're a bit shattered.
Yeah, our old friend Laura Woods gave a shout out to new parents the other day. My youngest lad has got a newborn, so he's doing the night shift so he can watch the games. And I think, yeah, there's quite a lot of that going on as well. People are shifting their bedtime routines or getting up with the little ones at night and watching the matches.
But what a lovely time. Like, that will be a core memory for kids.
Yeah.
Like, remembering the time that, like, they were sat in their England jammers and the mum and dad said they could stay up late. I mean, I remember trying to stay as still as possible during heartbeat so that I could stay up an extra half hour.
Yeah.
But I think this is such a lovely time for the kids to just get involved, and yeah, it's lovely all coming together.
All those
Football
years.
fans always think about their first World Cup. If
They
you ask
do.
anybody of any age, they'll tell you when their first World Cup.
1970. Sorry, Scott, you weren't even thought of them, but 1970 is the first one I can remember. What's yours, Andy? 1930. That Uruguay team.
I was there. Yeah, it's a tremendous game.
Yeah.
No, I was very disappointed when we lost to America in 1950.
Yeah, no, of course, things only happened this side.
66.
Yeah. Of course, there was you sitting there trying to be quiet so you could watch Heartbeat. Little did you know, watching telly was going to launch a career for you.
Yeah, I know. I mean, there's worse ways to get into telly, isn't there?
Yeah, it's still a great show, isn't it? Gogglebox. I mean, it kind of happened upon it. It's still a lot of fun. The cast changes. It's such a brilliantly simple idea, isn't it?
Well, as well, like when I first got asked about it, I'll be honest, I was like, gosh, they'll make shows about anything, won't they? People telly. But it's actually based off the royal family. So that's why the wonderful Caroline Aherne voiced it and Craig Cash does. Because essentially they were just all sat around the telly chatting. So it is lovely. I think I watch it as a TV guide now. So I know what's worth watching and what's maybe not.
Nah. Well, look, enjoy the rest of the tournament. Good to talk to you, Scarlett. Take it easy. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. See you later.
There we are. This Scarlett Moffat, the Queen of the Jungle, of course, of Gogglebox fame, and that research from Freely is on their website. And people choose to watch. More than half prefer the comfort of the sofa. 1 in 5 watching in bed. That's a rocky road. Who was I talking to the other day? It might have been him. So went up to bed to watch it. Of course, you fall asleep, don't you? Never quite the same, is it? Sitting there with the iPad or whatever, watching it on the telly. Anyway, our thanks to Scarlett. The SPL fixtures are out in a couple of minutes' time. Max Scott is going to pop in. We've got the Premier League fixtures tomorrow morning, of course, haven't we? So, but SPL fixtures out next, and Max is going to pop in, bring us that, and other matters besides. We're going to have our Creatures of the Night in the final hour as well. That's all to come.
If England can get other players in their top form and scoring goals as well, not only Harry Kane, Bellingham playing really his best football that he played when he just went to Real Madrid, Rashford, Saka, and then also players on the bench coming off and being an important role in that. England can go really far and can go to the final. You know, it's that momentum that you need. It's that belief. And you don't have to play you don't really want to play your best football against Croatia. You in a way, you want to struggle a little bit. Not play bad, play okay, struggle a little bit, winning 1-0 or 2-1 or whatsoever. Well, 1-0 preferably. And build your confidence and go on.
What have you made of Thomas Tuchel and the way he's handled the job so far? Are you impressed with him, Jim?
I like him. I like him a lot. He's got that likability. I was fortunate to sit next to him or sit close to him when first of all with the Chelsea games, when he comes and watch Chelsea, but also with the final of the FA Cup, and when all the players came past him, he had an interaction with all players, and you could see the facial expression of all players. They all really like him, and all really take the time with him, even his previous players, you know, the foreign players. So that says a lot about a manager. You know, you know yourself.
Sorry, we're just reliving Michael Olise's ball through to Mbappe the other night. It was a thing of beauty. Anyway, we're discussing that with Toby Gillies, who joins us now with the sports headlines.
Talk Sport.
Yeah, good afternoon now. talkSPORT's Darren Bent expects England to dominate their World Cup group after beating Croatia 4-2. The former England striker says getting that first win was the most important thing.
There were moments in that game where England played really well. It could have been 7 last night, so you take positives from that. But Ghana will show up because whoever plays against England, it's almost like it's their cup final.
Yeah.
Maybe because of a little bit of English arrogance where we're like, well, we're going to win.
Yeah, but the former England winger John Barnes doesn't think we're going to win. He's tipping France.
I don't look at one game and I don't look at this England game. And had they lost, I wouldn't think they haven't got a chance of winning it. So they have got a chance. However, you would have to, still say for me, France are the favourites, but we have got a chance.
England against Ghana, remember. That's the next one. It's live on talkSPORT on Tuesday. Scotland, meanwhile, they're back in action tomorrow night against Morocco. It's live here on talkSPORT. Meanwhile, the Lionesses must get through 2 playoffs to reach next summer's Women's World Cup. They've drawn against Greece first. If they get through that, it's either Slovakia or Ukraine for a place in the finals in Brazil. Domestically, the Scottish Premiership fixtures are out, believe it or not. They start next month. Rangers at Dundee United on the 31st of July. Celtic start the defence of their title against Dundee 3 days later. Max Scott will be with us shortly to go through it in more detail. And to the cricket, second test, day 2, England-New Zealand. Sam Ellard is at the Oval for us.
A bad first hour for England. New Zealand 365 for 7. Jamieson's got 40. Phillips has got 82. But some bizarre tactics from Joe Root. An hour into the day, we haven't seen Jofra Archer bowl. Shaker Beppel bowled with a new ball, 7 overs old. And England started with the short ball tactic, which leaked 27 runs from the first 3 overs. England well behind this game. New Zealand going nicely at 365 for 7.
Talk Sport News.
Oil prices should continue to drop now the US and Iran have signed a deal to end their conflict, and more hot weather is on the way. Emma has more at past.
talkSPORT weather with QuickFit. The season's changing, so get your car's shim pads and studs checked for spring with a free vehicle safety check. Book in centre or at quickfit.com today.
That hot weather's being tempered a little bit at the moment. Rain easing in the northwest, but drizzle across the west and southwest, turning brighter and warmer elsewhere. Humid later in the southeast, with some thundery showers too.
Good afternoon, it's Paul Hawksbee and Andy Jacobs here on talkSPORT. Don't forget, 1 o'clock, we cross to New York for Jim White and Simon Jordan. Then at 4, it's Drive. And today, Jeff Stelling is in the hot seat with Gabby Agbon-Lahore. And they'll look back on England's opening game. Among their guests, a man who made 96 appearances for England, Carl Walker, will be with Jeff and Gabby from 4. Lots to come with us in the final hour before that. Toby giving us the local weather. What's the weather going to be like at the World Cup for the games that we're in? Canada and Mexico and a couple of games in the States. So we'll get an update on that from Stephen Morgan at Fox Weather in New York very shortly. But before that, Max Scott has popped in the studio to see us because the SPL fixtures are out, Max.
They are out indeed. The Scottish Premiership gets underway actually in July, Friday the 31st of July. So if Scotland go all the way and gets the World Cup final to the 19th of July, it'll be very quick turnaround.
A lot of the Scotland fans will still be in. They'll still be in New York.
they'll be struggling to get out. Yeah. So look, we're going to start off Friday, the 31st of July, is the opening day of the Premier League season. Rangers travel to Dundee United. They, of course, will have new manager Derek McInnes. They've cherry-picked him from Hearts. Feel a bit sorry for Hearts, but that's another conversation.
Yeah, I've got a view on that. I think managing a Tony Bloom data-led team is very different from managing Rangers. And although Derek McInnes is a very good manager,
he's got Rangers connections as well. You can understand the.
Oh no, it's totally understandable. But we saw with Thomas Frank when he left Brentford to go to Tottenham. Sometimes leaving those teams where you get a lot of backup. It's not. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but it can happen.
It's not. I mean, we were just chatting about it off air because Toby was here and covers German football as a commentator. You know, the way that the old firm, I mean, like Shankland's come in.
Yep.
It was ever thus. I remember a great Hearts team in the 90s where Alan McLaren went there, Dave McPherson went there. I mean, look, it is. It's annoying because a team have pushed the old firm all the way and nearly won the title, but in the food chain, it's the old firm, isn't it?
And you get the feeling, actually, that even if Hearts had have made history and done that, the same thing would have happened. Shankland would have gone to Rangers, McInnes would have gone to Rangers. So Rangers get underway away Friday the 31st of July at Dundee United. The champions Celtic play on Monday the 3rd of August. Celtic are at home at Parkhead against Dundee, not to be confused with Dundee United, of course. No. And then Hearts, of course, the McInnes-less, the Shanklandless Hearts play on Saturday the 1st of August. They travel to Aberdeen. So away game for Hearts. And then, of course, the big fixtures that we all want to know about, the Old Firm derbies. First one's on the 20th of September. Celtic at home to Rangers, midday kickoff. The reverse fixture at Ibrox is then Saturday the 2nd of January, just straight after New Year, 2027. Crikey, that's come round quickly, hasn't it? And then Saturday the 27th of Feb is the game again at Parkhead before the league splits, and then we'll see what happens for the fourth and final Old Firm derby. So Scottish Premiership fixtures out. You can see them as well on the website at talksport.com.
And the Premier League fixtures out tomorrow morning.
Yes,
as well.
Yes,
so
I'll
be right
be,
across that.
I'll be with you actually at 10 a.m. giving you those.
Oh, excellent! It's at 10 a.m. Oh, that's brilliant. Yeah, we look forward to that. Fantastic.
The first one will be Forest.
Yeah.
It'll actually just be a deep dive into all of Forest's fixtures next season.
Oh, yeah. Okay, Dean Holden, Hull City assistant manager, join us. Hull been in the news because they may have to sell a few, of course, in the build-up because of PSR. So,
for goodness sake.
Anyway. Thank you, Max. We'll catch up with you a little bit later. We're going to look at some of the stories you may have missed on this World Cup.
League, does it, if that happens?
No, it doesn't really. No, that's very true. Before we get the weather, let's head back to the Oval. Sam Ellard joins us. England have taken a Kiwi wicket, Sam.
Finally, England have got a wicket, and it is Jacob Bethel who's taken the wicket. 367 for 8 now on New Zealand. Cole Jamieson played well for his 41. He actually played some really nice shots as the morning session went on. He tries to step away from his stumps, tries to go big, tries to go down the ground. He ends up being bowled by Jacob Bethel, but a really good use for late wicket partnership for New Zealand. Lots of us are scratching our heads in the press box as New Zealand were piling on those runs in the morning session. We're an hour and 9 minutes now into this session, and Jofra Archer, who's been out for all of those minutes, is still not to bowl. Really bizarre tactics from Giroud. To be fair, Bethel ended up taking the wicket when he did take he bowled the 7th over of the second new ball, Jacob Bethel, which also looked a little bit peculiar. England went with that short ball tactic early on in the morning session, which leaked a lot of runs. So I think England at the moment a little bit all over the place in the field. They have got a wicket though. Matt Henry is the new back to the crease, but crucially for New Zealand, Glenn Phillips is still there, unbeaten on 83, never scored a Test match 100. What a ground, what a place, what a time to get to 3 figures for the first time. New Zealand are 367 for 8.
US football forecast on talkSPORT with QuickFit, a team selection that everyone would be happy with this summer. QuickFit, drive away happy every time.
So, we were saying earlier on that the games have been better than we expected. I think that's true of the weather as well. We went into the tournament after what we saw at the Club World Cup, fearing delays and sort of violent thunderstorms, meaning 2-hour kickoffs or games being broken up. Not a bit of it. So let's look at all the latest weather over in the States, all thanks to QuickFit. Once again, Stephen Morgan from Fox in New York joins us. Hi, Stephen.
Paul and Andy, good afternoon. You're right. The weather during World Cup play has been very nice. Let's hope that trend continues. I know we have a few important games today. Then as we head into tomorrow, I think Scotland's playing right up in Boston.
That's right. Yeah, we'll get all your take on that tomorrow. Let's kick off in Atlanta for Czechia versus South Africa. What's the expectation there, Stephen?
So here's what's kind of crazy about what happened yesterday. In the Gulf of Mexico, we had a tropical storm that formed. It was named Arthur, and it's bringing some really heavy rain to the south. It's affected Houston. Obviously, the stadium in Houston is indoors, but that's affected the Fan Fest. And in Atlanta, similarly, today we could have some storms. So the stadium's indoors. We're not worried about the game. It's not going to affect the game, but it might affect some of the buildup to the game. Temperature is going to be 82, so about 25 degrees or so Celsius. Storms throughout the afternoon, though, yeah.
And then we're in LA for Switzerland, Bosnia-Herzegovina.
Easiest forecast on the planet. Sunny, temperatures about 20 degrees Celsius, no problem there. That dry weather continues in Southern California.
Because, I mean, that's a 12 o'clock local time kickoff, so nice weather for that.
Yeah, a little bit further, fair way further up the coast, Vancouver.
That should be all right.
Canada play there. What about this one?
That's one of the stadiums to watch because I mean the weather's going to be fantastic. I mean from a perspective of Canada, obviously a big game for the national team. The weather going to be very similar to Los Angeles. No threat of storms, anything.
And Guadalajara finally, where the other co-host Mexico take on South Korea. So I take it's going to be a warm one, is it?
Going to be a warm one, but last time Mexico played, we were nervous that there'd be storms. Remember when Mexico won, the fans were outside and it started pouring, but they were able to get the game in Mexico City. Guadalajara today, good conditions, no rain, so we're going to be all right.
So over the next sort of week or two, is it sort of staying quite benign from what you can see? I mean, you never know whether in the States or in Mexico or Canada, anything can sort of blow up out of nowhere.
Better than last summer.
But yeah, you got your fingers crossed, Stephen. It could be okay.
Fingers and toes crossed. Yeah, I just hope the Scottish fans don't keep draining the beer in Boston because I think that's been the biggest problem. But no, honestly, summer is beginning to build into North America, so Mexico, U.S., and Canada. Yeah. I think we are in for a quieter stretch. Yesterday was a really rough day. We had a lot of severe weather through the plains, close to Kansas City, but Kansas City was spared this time, which has been kind of a rare thing because Kansas has had a lot of storms. But no, I think next week things are going to be good. And tomorrow, the game in Boston also looks really nice.
Fantastic. Lovely. I think they're going to be recruiting a player called Samuel Adams at the Scotland team. It's almost part of the Tartan Army now. So good stuff. Thank you, Stephen. Thanks very much.
Sure thing, guys.
There's Stephen Morgan there from Fox Weather in New York, and that was our look.
There's been a lot of reports of how much drink has been heard. Yeah. England fans refused to leave a Dallas bar after a 30,000 booze bender. So I
think people have been having a drink in town because the prices in the stadiums are astronomical.
Oh, yeah,
really, really expensive.
Benidorm, people having a good drink and then watching the games.
Really? We might do that in the build-up to the Ghana game. Mm-hmm. We might go and have a chat with the people enjoying the football over in Benidorm.
That's a thing.
But for now, that was our look at all the weather. Thanks to QuickFit. Drive away happy every time. Still to come this afternoon, we'll look at where we're at after all these first-round matches, the winners and losers. And we're here from you, and we've got a creature of the night and all manner of other stuff besides. We're here with Selco Builders Warehouse. It's where the trade go.
US football forecast on talkSPORT with QuickFit. Your car's star player you can always rely on this summer. QuickFit. Drive away happy every time.
Neil, yesterday we had another French legend in the studio in Emmanuel Petit, and I asked him. No, in fact, I didn't even ask him. He just offered it to us. He said that he thinks Mbappe is more important than Henry was to France. Who do you put above the other on that list? Who's a better player? Who's more important?
I think Mbappe is the main man. Is the guy for France, and actually he's had some tough time at Madrid this season, but with France, he's always there and he's always playing well. And I think when you look at the stats, I think he's got already like 14 World Cup goals, yes. 58 goals for France. So he's the top scorer of all time. I've backed him from the start, and I believe he's got a big desire to prove like all the people wrong after his tough season, I'd say, at Madrid.
I remember as a kid growing up watching France, you had the great Michel Platini playing, who I think is possibly the best French player of all time. Is that how you guys see it over in France? Who is number one on your list?
It's hard to say because I feel like most of the time great players are being recognized more when they retire. And I think that's kind of what happened with Mbappe when he was playing for Paris. Like he was criticized a lot, but then we left him, and the League One in France is not the same with or without Mbappe, and I think that will happen to him. And I believe we've never had a player coming from very young age, like doing the things that he's done already. He's one of the World Cup. He scored so many goals, and so I think he will be number one on the list for sure. But that will probably happen at the end of his career.
It's Paul Hawksbee, Andy Jacobs here on talkSPORT. We're going to be hearing from some of the talkSPORT listeners very shortly as they reflect on England. But we're bringing you our creatures of the night throughout the World Cup. And these are people that have agreed to stay up and watch some of the maybe less glamorous games.
Less glamourable.
The less glamourable games of this World Cup.
I've been impressed with the standard of reporting. It's been excellent.
Yeah, they've done very, very well. And so we asked them to stay up so you don't have to some ungodly hour. Uzbekistan, Colombia.
I was sorry to miss that one.
Yeah, well, I caught some highlights this morning. You forget, the quality of Luis Diaz. There's some very good players in the team.
Players, that's true.
Uzbekistan gave them a bit of a game, but anyway, the quality out in the end. Let's bring you a flavour of that. Just remind me of our creature of the night. What was the name again, Asker? Clifford, the Manchester United fan. Take it away. This is how it all unfolded for Clifford at 3 o'clock in the morning.
I'm just waiting for the game to start. It's in Mexico at the brilliant Aztec Stadium. Let's hope it's a good one. 17 minutes in, first real shot of from Colombia. Good effort. Need to get Diaz more involved, but it's been a stop-start game. Lots of little bit of niggly fouls. 22 minutes in, first hydration break. Last 5 minutes, it's been all Colombia, but lacking that killer pass. Trying to get past the white wall of Uzbekistan.
Ball over the top, flick towards goal, and in! And it's Daniel Munoz who made a run across goal.
Wonderful goal for Colombia. I think it was a pass from Diaz, but it's been coming. Colombia for the last 5 minutes, all pressure, but been lacking that killer pass. Eventually found it and got the goal. Half time, it's Colombia 1, had majority of possession, lacked a bit of skill at first, the killer pass, but that lovely goal by Munez, the Crystal Palace player. Let's hope the second half's more interesting. Uzbekistan has got a corner. I think this is the only hope they'll get a goal, because otherwise they've not been in the box. Let's see how this goes. Uzbekistan has made 2 substitutes. I can't pronounce the names. First shot on target for Uzbekistan, and they've scored. Against the run of play, they'll be celebrating all over Uzbekistan for that one.
Uzbekistan has scored their first ever World Cup goal.
Nobody saw that coming. Hydration break coming up. Uzbekistan goalie's down with cramp, probably from all the saves he's had to do.
It's 4 on 2. Ball fed out wide. Keeper saves it, but it's gone in. He couldn't keep it out, and it's Diaz who scores.
Colombia has just scored. Lucky goal from Diaz. Poor defending from Uzbekistan. The goalkeeper furious. Last 5 minutes, and Colombia's hunting for that third goal to put this game to bed, which is where I'll be going once it finishes.
Hernandez wins it back. He's done really well for his team there. Now he heads off, whips in a cross. He's looking for the header, and it's in! What a goal!
Last minute of the game. Brilliant build-up play by Colombia. They've just scored. Who was it who scored? I can't see his name. I don't know, but they're dancing. Game over. Colombia win. 3 points. They top the group now with Portugal and Congo drawing. And it's good night from me. I'm going to bed.
Well done, Clifford. Top work. You said you couldn't pronounce the names of the Uzbekistan players. You couldn't pronounce Uzbekistan, let's be honest. I do like Uzbekistan.
I thought it was Uzbekistan.
Yeah, Uzbekistan, Frank Spencer's favourite.
Frank Sidebottom was a City fan. But
yeah, no, he was. It was good work. Very fantastic.
Very
and that, it was.
I love the bit where he couldn't remember the bloke, couldn't see the bloke's name. He scored.
It was Jamington Campaz who got the third. Yeah, we're Jamington. Yeah,
what a great name that is.
Yeah,
we're Jamington.
I'm going to. Why don't you change your name by deed poll to Jamington Campaz?
I think I
would. Be great, wouldn't it?
For the duration of the World Cup, I'm quite happy to be known as Jamington Campaz.
Yeah, good morning. It's
I'm as camp as Andy Jacobs.
Yeah, it's Paul Hawksbee and Jamington Campaz with you through until 1. That's it.
Good.
You're going Route 1 there, aren't you? Having done your Frank Spencer material, you're doing your Dick Emery now, are you? All the latest gags.
You know me.
Talking of which, stay tuned tomorrow in the Clips of the Week for Stanley Unwin, kids. I know he's a TikTok sensation. But anyway, more on that later.
Reference during a game last night. I thought it was so old I can't do it.
Really? It wasn't Fred Carno's Army, was it? Or the Keystone Cops?
I can't remember now.
Since Loro's not been on the telly, we don't get mentions of Fred Carno's Army.
No, we don't. No, not really.
Anyway, let's move on. Let's talk a bit of England. Graham is a Manchester United fan. Hi, Graham.
How are we doing? We okay?
Yeah, we're good. Oh, you sound quite sprightly after that victory. You're feeling positive, are you?
Am I feeling positive? Well, I'm actually flying out to Boston on Monday.
Oh, brilliant!
Going to a couple of games. So, boys, am I excited?
Yeah,
absolutely cannot wait.
It wouldn't have, if we'd gone out there and lost last night. It would have taken the. I mean, look, it's still a very exciting thing to be doing. But now we've won the first game. I'm sure it's put an extra spring in your step as you're going out there.
Unbelievable. For me, if that was a Southgate team, we'd have got it at half time actually 1-0 up, because we'd have scored, parked the bus, and then we would have finished the game 1-1. And then you imagine Croatia losing, absolutely knackered, running around, and they see a few subs, thinking a few defenders are going to come in on here. No. Rashford, Saka and Rodgers. And they're thinking, are you having a laugh? That is positive football.
Who was saying that this morning? The depth of the bench, the amount of players. Somebody was saying maybe on breakfast, one of the guests, and yeah, it is. I mean, we have got a pretty frightening bench if they're all at it, and we've got some great like-for-like replacements. You having Rashford back as a Manchester United fan, Graham? He took his goal ever so well last night. Would you like to see him back?
No, I think he needs to go, and he's not going to get any hate from us or anything like that. I can see him at Spurs. He's 30 million euros, so I can see him at maybe a Spurs, and I think he just needs to go now rather than, because all he'd do is he'd have a couple of bad games potentially, and then people will be on his back, and he doesn't need that right now. Just needs to go out, play positive football, and enjoy his football.
And living in Manchester as well.
Yeah, again, it's been a bit of a goldfish bowl for him. He probably does need to get away. Good man. Have a great trip and enjoy yourself. Thank you, Graham. Thanks very much. That's Graham, the Manchester United fan, off to Boston with a spring in his step. Sean is a Brentford fan.
Oh, okay.
Chat with Sean. Hello, Sean.
Good afternoon, gents. How are we?
Good, thank you. A bit nervy first time. How did you feel first time? We're yet to speak to anybody who was really zen, thinking, "Oh no, this is going to be fine." I think we all felt the same, didn't we?
Of course. I mean, I think the biggest concern first half for me, I thought going forward, we looked very positive. I think on the wings looked great. My concern, if I'm honest, was the back four. I feel like when we did have the ball, we were very slow at bringing the ball out, I must admit. I think I would be worried when we come up against a decent side. I think the biggest test for us will be when we come up against Ghana and you got Semenyo running at that defence. I think, personally, I prefer Gay over Stones, but it just looked very nervous, I must admit, the first half.
I think they all did. I think you saw players. I mean, I sent you a message. I mean, somebody who keeps the ball brilliantly is Elliot Anderson. But the whole team, he played this kind of little chip shot. I think it was in the sort of direction. And we never get the ball back again. And he's somebody who looks after the ball. I think players were making, because they were nervous and it wasn't quite working for them and they were being pressed, they got forced into mistakes, didn't they?
Yeah, we've got to see them.
Sorry.
Sorry,
no, I think for me, we realise how important Anderson and Royce are going to be. I mean, their coverage on the pitch this season. I mean, I think Anderson was in the top two of coverage in the game, and I think bringing Royce off when we did, I think them two are going to be so key.
Yeah.
Especially
got to keep them fit and keep them sharp. Andy, sorry, what were you going to say, Andy?
No, it's fine. I can't even remember now. I lost interest.
Oh, so Jamington, what's happened to you today?
I did have this sort of.
Thank you very much. Good man.
Thanks.
Thank you
well
for your
done.
call.
When Batterina scored, I thought when Sam first said his name, I thought he was called Butterina. So I had this whole
Butterina. Is this a new product you're bringing?
Yeah,
it looks like butter and it doesn't.
I
taste
can't
like
believe
butter.
it's not Butterina. Then it turned out to be Batterina. It was very disappointing.
Okay. Well, if you take nothing else away from today's show, the great Batterino debate is definitely going to be one of the talking points.
Oh, I know what my old reference was.
Oh yeah,
the linesman, the assistant. He was called Dano. Do you see that on the back of his shirt?
Dano.
I think it would have been great if he'd been the referee. You'd have gone, book him, Dano. That is a very old reference.
Hawaii 5-0 there from Jamington Campaz alongside
That's me.
So, it's Hawksbee and Campaz with you through until 1 o'clock this afternoon. Jim White and Simon Jordan up live from New York later on. And Jeff Stelling and Gabby Adbon-Law joined by Carl Walker to look back, and that's in World Cup game day from 4. Then, of course, loads of live football for you. Switzerland, Bosnia, with Adrian and the gang, game day live, all the games this evening, and the sports bar for you at 10 as well. So another busy World Cup day here on talkSPORT. We'll get the news headlines for you next. We'll hear from more of the talkSPORT listeners. Lots more besides in the final half hour of the show.
Donald Trump has been given license to join the World Cup winners in their trophy lift, just as he did, as you remember, at the Club World Cup. The US president has already been told by FIFA, we want you, President Trump, to hand over the trophy to the eventual champions. I mean, I wonder, what does that look like as far as you're concerned? Is it right and proper that Trump, of all people, should be right in the middle of it all come the trophy lift?
I think it would be hugely popular if England were to win the trophy, if Trump wrestled the World Cup off Harry Kane and began to do a little conga. I think everyone in Britain would share my view that would be absolutely magnificent. No, I think it's got the potential to be quite embarrassing, but I think that Trump is quite savvy about the reaction to what happened with the World Club Championship. If he's not, his son Barron is, because his son Barron loves football, loves our football. He's actually an Arsenal fan. And I think he will probably have a quiet word with the old man and say, look, Dad, it should you get the trophy anywhere near you, don't try and grab it.
Well, as you know, Simon, who's right beside me here, always says politicians should stay out of football. So, Simon, why should they make an exception for the president?
Because you have to manage this man, whether you disagree with his principles or you agree with them, it's kind of irrelevant. In my ideal world, would have politicians nowhere near sports. So when the German politicians yesterday were saying they weren't going to come because they disagree with certain aspects of Trump's outlook, I said, hallelujah, more of that. The situation with Trump has a relatively unique feel about it because Trump is such an omnipotent character that it does add to the argument. But if I had my ideal world, I would be saying, Trump nowhere near it. In terms of being on the pitch, dealing with the trophy, that's someone else's responsibility, and it steers into the narrative that I always underpin my arguments with. Keep these politicians away from leveraging sports, whoever it may be. So I can't have it both ways. I can't say, well, you know, I've got no problem with Trump, full stop. I recognise the fact that he's probably the most powerful man in the world, and he is, to some extent, omnipotent in whatever he does. But, you know, I don't want politicians near sport.
Jude Bellingham says playing with a chip on his shoulder will bring out the best of him at this World Cup. The former England captain Stuart Pearce says England's number 10 made the difference in the win over Croatia.
They look to go forward with energy, with pace, with power, and I've got to say Bellingham led that. He really did in the second half, in my opinion. He got the goal, but he got his towel up and he was roaring the team forward.
After a nervy first half with a score at 2-2, Thomas Tuchel did exactly what the FA brought him in for. His team talk transformed England.
I want him to be brave, courageous, intense and on the front foot and do it together and just go for it.
Kane, Bellingham and Rashford all on the score sheet. Meanwhile, the former England striker Darren Bent wants Mark Gahey to start the next game. Here's why.
John Stones, he naturally plays on the right-hand side, right? And it's Maguire that usually plays on the left when it was those two. When you move John Stones out to the left, naturally he doesn't go that way to Nico O'Reilly, which is why he barely touched the ball.
England v Ghana is live on talkSPORT on Tuesday night. Elsewhere, Ghana nicked a 95th minute winner to beat Panama 1-0. Colombia top Group K, they beat Uzbekistan 3-1. Away from the World Cup, and we're hearing that Liverpool will hijack Newcastle's move to sign young Spanish striker Victor Munoz. And we understand Chelsea are up for selling Enzo Fernandez to Real Madrid. Jose Mourinho has made Enzo his top target. More at talksport.com.
Yeah, we've not been going back to Sam Ellard at the Oval watching England-New Zealand in the second test very much because not much has been happening apart from New Zealand batting.
Rubbish.
But we had a kind of odd review moment we couldn't get our head round. We've also had a century for one of the Kiwis. And we've had a wicket. So back to Sam. Sam, take it away.
391 for 9 on New Zealand. Yeah, a special moment for Glenn Phillips. His first ever Test match 100, coming off 133 balls. He's batted beautifully. He's held this innings together for New Zealand. And a lovely moment for him as everybody at the Oval stands up and applauds a brilliant innings. 18 fours for Glenn Phillips. He took a single to get to 100. Then the very next ball, Jofra Archer, who remarkably, an hour and 36 minutes into day 2, is bowling his first over. He gets the wicket of Matt Henry, who went for a wild shot and mistimed the shot. It went high in the air and was caught at cover. So Glenn Phillips unbeaten on 100. Will O'Rourke has just come to the crease, and New Zealand are 391 for 9.
Thank you, Sam. You're saying McCullum out after this, aren't you? Not keen. He's not having a great Test match.
This has been as bad as Australia, this performance.
Really?
Absolutely.
I mean, there's been some...
Root, bless him, he's a great player, but I don't think he's a great captain. I don't think he ever was, and he certainly hasn't captained well in this game. So,
Regular updates from Sam throughout the day, but we're going to...
No one cares about the cricket at this point.
No, it's all about the World Cup.
All about the football.
Coming up at 1, Simon Jordan and Jim White. We hope, because I say there's been an incident over there, and Jim's here to tell us more. Hello, Jim.
Hi there, Paul. Yes, how unusual is this? You guys back there are probably aware that the New York Knicks, the basketball team, won the championship title for the first time in 53 years. And today here in New York, they're having their winning parade. 2 million people out there, Paul, lining the streets for the parade. But they've all shown up very early. I mean, it is only 25 to 8 over here, and the place is absolutely gridlocked. My hotel is less than an hour away, so I set off a bit earlier, but then I had problems trying to approach the World Trade Center. As you can see, I'm in, but the crucial moment came, Paul, when there was a barrier in front of me, and I decided, right, do I or don't I? And surrounded by Knicks fans, I decided to jump the barrier and was flattened by one of NYPD's finest. They then told me, hey, buddy, if you pull that stunt again, you'll be arrested.
Oh, wow.
So I took a step back, somewhat flustered, and then saw a senior policeman by the name of Vinny, who I pulled over and said, Vinny, you got to help me here. My name is Jim White. I do a show on talkSPORT with Simon Jordan. White and Jordan, you must have heard of it. And he looked at me as if, carry on. And he said, right, let's see what we can do. And Vinny, the senior policeman, and I'll send a picture of this later, walks me to the top of Broadway and then down to the World Trade Center. And I have made it. So has producer Luke, so has Troy Deeney. Let me tell you, Simon Jordan is out there somewhere in amongst 2 million Knicks fans. Brad Friedel is in the same hotel as me. And I don't think Brad has decided it would be extremely prudent to jump the barrier. So he's trying to get here. There is utter chaos here, Paul. Let me tell you, chaos.
Simon.
I begin to tell you what it's like over there.
Simon's the sort of guy that if he gets told off by a police officer, he'll give him a bit back. So we may be seeing his his photos a little bit later on, holding up the little board with his name on it. And also, Simon would have stood bail for you, Jim, had you been arrested. If you're going to go abroad with anybody, go abroad with someone like Simon who's got plenty of money who can pay your bail.
Well, exactly. I think I'd be sitting in that cell and waiting for a long time, Paul, before that happens. Honestly, I mean, we knew the parade was happening, but all police leave has been cancelled, and they are all out there marshalling the fans. As I speak, I see the far end. Come on round. Simon Jordan has managed to make it. Come on round. I'm talking to Paul and Andy, and I'm just telling them how I got here by jumping a barrier. How did you make it?
Well, I walk every morning. Police were very pleased to see me. I mean, they presented a particular guard of honour for me to walk through. You can appreciate. So there was no problems for me. So I'm actually earlier than I ever get to a show, which I'm most dissatisfied.
Very good. They probably had a pipe band, did they? To like the New York NYPD got you in that way. Yes, nice.
Well said, Mr. Hawksbee. That's exactly what happened.
Well, I mean, Paul, the thing is, Simon is here, I am here, Troy Deeney's here. We have ourselves a show.
Good.
The problem is our poor engineers and technical people are out there. I think they're probably not as gobby as me, so they may or may not make it. We shall see. We'll see who we can summon out of one of the canteens in the World Trade Center. Say, you're any use in a camera? You're any use technically? Can you get us on air?
It's in the great New York tradition. It's like off Broadway. Let's put on a show on right here. So I'm sure you'll come through it. Thank you, guys. We look forward to it. See you later. Thank you.
It's a lot of work for producer Luke, I feel.
Yeah, Luke might. I mean, I imagine like Luke takes his work very seriously. I think he may be wrestled to the ground by the NYPD if he's not.
No, he's in. He's in.
Oh, Luke's made it.
They're there. Yeah.
Oh, good.
They've got no technical stuff, so Luke's going to have to do everything.
They'll blag it. They'll pros. They'll be fine. Anyway, so Jim and Simon up at 4, all being well. That parade starts at 3 o'clock. So it's 25 to 8, and there's people are queuing. You can't get into the city.
I find more of the problems will be tonight.
Yeah, could well be. That's right.
Yeah, the city apart.
So the boys,
American style.
Yeah. Anyway, good luck to the fellas. They'll be coming up very shortly at 1 o'clock live from New York. But now it's time for this.
Duracell's Extra Mile on talkSPORT. Different, better, unstoppable.
Yes, every day with our good friends at Duracell, we bring you Duracell's Extra Mile, where we're going to pick players who we think went that extra mile, those players that bring a game-changing performance and unstoppable power. Indulge us because we are going to go England for this one. And there were two.
Who else could it be?
There were two standout players, really, who kind of stepped up to the plate when it wasn't going particularly well for England. Maybe we should start where Harry Kane, who it took a lot of bottle to go up and take that second pen. There would have been that sort of France miss would have been on his mind after what happened with that first penalty.
Absolutely.
But there were two reasons why it was cancelled out: the keeper off his line and Vardiol encroaching, and he touches the ball, doesn't he? He puts the ball out the touch. So it was definitely, we weren't lucky from that point of view.
It wasn't. It was, he wouldn't have saved it without that. So
you don't sense that. But he put it right second time. And a great header, fantastic header as well.
It was his general work, his general play, his chasing back, his block that everybody's talked about. Some of the passes he put in, and Bellingham. Lee Dixon was saying, well, he hasn't done much, but I thought he was doing okay. And it gives anybody a time to build into a game. Second half.
The statement of intent, whatever was sort of ringing in their ears from Thomas Tuchel and Anthony Barry. I mean, talk about embrace it from the first couple of minutes of that second half where he took on that run and had that bit. The thing is, he gets a lot of stick, but he isn't the same player without that kind of swagger. And, you could see him getting a goal and just getting the ball and running back to the centre circle saying, OK, this is what you want.
He's a world-class player.
He doesn't do that. It's arms out facing the England fans. He's not going to change, so I think you've got to embrace it. Whether there's a lot of people that don't like that side of him. I can't quite see why.
They'll like him if we win the World Cup.
Yeah, exactly. So just embrace what he's doing because he's not going to change for anybody, I don't think. So, it's very hard to see beyond those two.
We all know it's a team game, and that's the most important thing. Even Tuchel said that. But you do need your world-class players, and those two are.
Yeah, absolutely. Indeed. So there we are. We're going with Harry Kane and Jude Bellingham for that performance against Croatia last night for our Duracell feature. That was Duracell's Extra Mile. We have now reached the stage, of course, where we are beyond... we're going into teams playing again. The first round is done. What have we learnt from the first round? European football expert and Kevin Hatchard is going to join us to round things up in a few, and maybe look ahead to some of the games tonight as well in a few moments' time.
Duracell's Extra Mile on talkSPORT. Different, better, unstoppable.
I'd give it a solid 7 out of 10. We had a nervy 5-10 minutes opening, and bit of a nervy first half and stuff. I think we need to communicate a bit more with the back four, between the back four and the midfield.
Yeah.
But I could see the high press, and I like the way Pickford was like, acting as a little bit of a sweeper and sucking their players in, so we could create some gaps in the midfield. I think the only way, and second half, I think we were superb, but I think the only way we're going to win this World Cup is there's two things. Firstly, obviously keeping Kane fit.
Mm-hmm.
That's absolutely imperative. And the second thing is we will win most of our games from the 70th minute onwards with the attacking players we have on the bench.
Yeah.
It's almost like an embarrassment of riches. Attacking, exciting players. I like the way he just made 3 changes.
Yeah.
And they were positive changes. But
he brought on, when you bring he brought on Morgan Rogers, Saka, and Rashford. I mean, when that Croatia must have been thinking, oh, here we go. I mean, and other teams watching that going, God, you know what? They have got a lot of good players, and they come on. And not only that, are they athletes. I thought Jed Spence was fantastic when he come on as well. Yeah. Quick, athletic, good 1v1, driving forward. And look, as the tournament goes on, we're going to be playing in different climates. It's going to be hot. What I saw in the last 20 minutes, we look good.
The only thing I'll say on that is that Croatia were chasing the game, and if we're losing 1-0 and those subs you just mentioned come on, very different scenario, very different setup, very different.
Still top players though.
Of course, no, I totally agree with that. But Croatia had to come on to us.
Time with a long throw, and there's the header in, and the long throw has worked. The set piece pays off again. Ladislav Krejci, who heads home for Czechia.
3 red cards. Mexico are the first team to get points on the board. Mexico 2, South Africa 0.
And it's rolled in by Mbalo into the bottom corner. Does that open the floodgate? They've done it. They've got a point. Yunan Lopetegui works the oracle for the Qataris. They've been dominated by Switzerland all night.
Free kick into the penalty area, glanced on and in. And Bosnia have the lead. Jovo Lukic. And to try and come forward now. Larin with a shot, and he scored. Kyle Larin.
Cross comes in. And goes ahead. I don't believe it. They have equalised. It's 1-1. The Qatari players have earned their first ever World Cup point.
So, round 1 completed. We get into round 2 of the group phase. Czech Republic, South Africa, that one live on talkSPORT 2 from 5. Switzerland, Bosnia-Herzegovina, that's on talkSPORT at 8. Canada, Qatar, that's live from Vancouver, talkSPORT 2 at 11. And then at 2 a.m, well, I'm sure for our creature of the night tomorrow, in Guadalajara, Mexico versus South Korea. So
that
joining
could
us,
actually be a good game.
Yeah, absolutely. Joining us now to reflect on the first round is European football expert Kevin Hatchard. Hi, Kev.
Hi guys, how are we?
Yeah, we're good. Good to talk to you. I mean, you'll have well, let's get your overview really on the first round. It has been good, maybe better than we all expected. There's been very few dull matches. The minnows that we expected to get roll over, apart from a couple of circumstances, have generally given a good account of themselves. So far, so good, Kevin.
Yeah, I've enjoyed it. I think pace of play has been significantly higher than maybe I thought it might be the case in some of the matches. I think teams have dealt well with the conditions. I think what's really noticeable for me is the gap between the so-called big hitters and the so-called minnows has narrowed significantly. And I think that's no surprise. I mean, you look, for example, at a team like DR Congo, you know, Yohan Wissa, who moved for big money to Newcastle up front for them, Cedric Bakambu, who's been around for a long time in European football, guys like Aaron Wan-Bissaka, who's got enormous experience in the Premier League. So a lot of these teams that maybe haven't been in the World Cup finals for a while, you know, do have a lot of quality and do have players that have a huge amount of experience. So I think that's really stood out. The other thing that stood out for me, actually, is how many of the star players have really shown up in the early matches. Kylian Mbappe got a couple of goals. Was it his best performance overall? No, but he can come up with those moments of magic. Obviously, Harry Kane got a couple of goals. Lionel Messi was outstanding for Argentina. Thought Luis Diaz for Colombia was razor sharp. When you think how many games he's played for Bayern this season and how they've used him again and again and again, I thought energy-wise, he was phenomenal. So really great performances from some of the big names so far.
12 teams going home after the first section. I've got 9 so far. Do
you want to give us your 9 out?
I know you won't agree with this. Haiti, I think they will go, but not everybody with that. Curacao, South Africa, Tunisia, Uzbekistan, Iraq, Jordan, Algeria and Paraguay.
They're your 9.
I think they're all going home.
Okay, well, that's it can bite you on the bum, that sort of prediction, so we'll have to... You disagreeing with much of that, Kev?
He's gone early. I think Algeria maybe have a little more to give, if I'm honest. I think you look at the quality that they have. They've got a lot of young players. Riyad Mahrez, of course, didn't start that first game against Argentina. I'd expect him to have a bigger role as the tournament goes on. I think they do have the quality to actually produce something, maybe in the rest of that group. But yeah, I think even a team like Haiti, you know, the way they played against Scotland, they really should have got something out of that game. Piero had that header wide with 5 minutes to go. I'm not saying they're going to cause Brazil and Morocco too many problems. I think they might score against Brazil, actually, weirdly, because Brazil, the one thing that really stood out to me is the gaps in midfield. Carlo Ancelotti was always going to have to try and build this team on the fly as the tournament developed. There were enormous gaps in that team, I thought, against Morocco.
Portugal can remind me of old England, you know, like pre-Southgate England, where you had a lot of good players and you're trying to get them all into the same team and it's not really working.
Yeah.
And it definitely felt like that.
Look, the truth is, Roberto Martinez, when he took the job, hitched his wagon to Ronaldo from the get-go. He said, this is my guy. This is the guy that scores more goals than anyone in international football. He's going to go up front for me. The work had been done for him by the previous coach, Fernando Santos, if he wanted to move away from Cristiano Ronaldo. Now, people will say, well, look, he won the Nations League. Ronaldo's still been scoring goals. But he's got 10 major tournament games now without scoring. You know, that is an enormous run for a player of his quality. And if he's not scoring goals for you, what is he giving you? That's the truth. And, you know, you look at Messi, who got a hat-trick for Argentina. People might not think it's a fair comparison, but he felt active throughout the game for me, whereas Ronaldo was just waiting for that service. Yeah. So I think he's got a big decision to make. But look, he doubled down on it. He said, why would I take out the player who's scored the most goals in history at international level? So, you know, he's gonna stick with Ronaldo come hell or high water. But I personally don't think it's the right way to go.
And Bernardo Silva's a wonderful season for Manchester City, playing sort of midfield, deep line midfield. He's not a right winger, is he, anymore? And that illustrates the point I'm making about too many players.
And that's why they need that quality of service into Ronaldo to get the best out of him. And maybe, like you said, you know, square pegs in round holes. Now, the game that most eyes and ears will be on tonight, because of the kickoff time at 8, is an all-European affair, Kevin. Switzerland versus Bosnia-Herzegovina. And the Swiss, I mean, they must be wondering how the heck they didn't get 3 points, undone by that late Qatari equaliser. They had so many chances and didn't take them. But that group's wide open, isn't it? Canada, Qatar, Bosnia and Switzerland all on 1 point. So it's a big night tonight. That is a delay and a half.
That's a long delay, isn't it? He doesn't agree with you. So he thinks, no, that is a big night for them.
Yeah. We'll see if we can get Kevin back there. We just slightly lost him. If not, we'll just take it as read that it is a big night tonight for those nations.
Well, the two teams that win will be on 4 points, and the two teams that lose will be on...
Whereas...
Imagine if they all draw.
I think we can get the answer from Kevin, although we haven't got very long to get it now. But, Kevin, can you hear us now?
Yes, I've got you loud and clear.
I was just saying, the Swiss can't believe they didn't get all 3 points in the last game. That group wide open, 1 point for all of them. So big night for Switzerland and Bosnia this evening.
Yeah, I didn't flounce off in disgust. Look, I thought they should have won the game. There's no doubt. I mean, they had so many situations late on in the game where they could have got the second goal. Wrong pass, wrong decision, just didn't finish it off. I think they've got a tough game against Bosnia, potentially. I think they have a lot of firepower up front. Dzeko, Demirovic, Tabakovic. They are pretty physical as well. They'll pick Switzerland. I think that could be a real battle. It could be quite a grim but fascinating watch at times.
Fantastic. Grim but fascinating. Something. Oh, yes. The beautiful game. Cheers, Kev. All the best. Thanks very much for joining us. That's Kevin Hatchard there.
We've been pleasantly surprised, so let's fingers crossed.
Yeah, that's right. Before that, Czech Republic, who need something.
They both
really
need to win, so they all need to win in that group.
Well, I mean, Mexico and South Korea won their game, so they desperately need to get something if they're going to progress. And Andy's already told you South Africa are going home, so that's that. So all the games live throughout the evening and into tonight, into tomorrow morning, of course. Scotland in action tomorrow. We'll be building up to that tomorrow. But Angelina Kelly is out in Dallas, and she caught up with some of the England fans in the aftermath of that win over Croatia. Here she is.
Overall, very happy.
Bit stressful in the first half, second half, came out there and absolutely smashed it.
Are we a fan of the hydration break?
No, they need to lose those hydration breaks. It's temperature controlled, climate control. Why are we having...
I thought it was cold in there, to be honest.
It's just for advertising.
Yeah. Why are you an England fan?
You got to support the great Harry Kane. You got Michael Carrick, gosh, Paul Scholes.
Are you a Man United fan?
Cristiano Ronaldo was there. I was a Man United fan. I would call myself more of a Tottenham Hotspur fan now.
How have you made that switch?
Not a lot of loyalty.
I've heard that you've had a bit of travel to get here. Where have you come from?
I came from Australia to get here today.
Dare I ask how much this has all cost you?
You can, but I've got no idea, because if I knew, then I'd have to tell everybody at home. See them win like that today, doesn't matter what it cost, does it?
Price. And it's coming home?
No, I ain't saying that. I think it could.
We'll take it. It could be coming home.
Yes, sorry.
That was good.
It's coming, could be coming home. It's all about edging your bets, really.
I worked out the French for it's coming home.
Did you? Well, you say worked it out. You put it into Google Translate.
Well, exactly.
Doesn't make you Pepe Le Pew, does it?
Il rentre à la maison.
Oh, okay, yeah. I mean, I think I could have worked that out. I stopped doing French at GCSE.
Well, you know.
So there we are. Thank you very much, Jamington Campaz, for your fine work
I've
today.
put my new business cards on the show WhatsApp groups.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah,
Tweet it out
well
if you
done.
like.
It's Andy's new name for the duration of the tournament. So that is us.